Good morning, pop culture. We are live. It is Monday, October 29th, 2018. It's 8 a.m. and it's time to start Good Morning Pop Culture. So I've been away for the weekend, folks. I had some life stuff I had to do. And now we're back to talk about another week of entertainment. We had some big news hit with Kathleen Kennedy's confirmation that Boba Fett has been canceled. And this news story is so big, in fact, that I'm going to be releasing a separate video on the entire thing later in the week because I told you guys we're going back to the videos. We've seen great channel growth, and I like the videos, and I like this too. As I said, this show is our community builder, and the show, well, in the videos, they bring in a new audience. So a little bit of both here, but today we're going to talk about that. I'm dying to hear what you guys have been thinking about this. They usually put news like this over the weekend so people don't know. They try to hide it over the weekends. And that seems to be the case with Boba Fett, because Boba Fett was a sure thing character, guaranteed to make money. It's almost like Kathleen Kennedy doesn't want to redeem Star Wars. It's almost like she's choosing to do these things to focus on the new crap that nobody likes. And well, that's why you have a flop with Solo, and that's why your shit doesn't sell. And it's funny too. You would think from the outside, people go, man, aren't you ever tired of covering this shit? It seems like it's the same shit, different day. It actually is the same shit, different day, because they keep making these stupid decisions. I'm telling you guys, at the end of the day, at the end of all this, there's going to be a time where we look back on the Disney era of Star Wars because somebody else is going to buy this shit up, or Disney's just going to make it a video property where it's relegated to TV and they release toys every once in a while. But somebody's going to go back and look at all this stuff and decide what a mistake everything Disney was. And so we're going to talk about that, and we're going to talk about quite a few other things. So good morning to everyone that's here. I sound like shit this morning because I feel like shit this morning. I went to a house party and I stayed up till 7 in the morning. I haven't done that since college. So week after I turned 30, what do? I go party till 7 in the morning. Got 4 hours of sleep on Saturday. My mom wanted to go somewhere. Okay. Tried it again on Sunday. Hell no. So don't worry. I'm here. Good morning. Actually, I was up before my normal time, but I had to go do something. And excuse the background noise of the street. It's unusually hot in this office. But no, that is when I saw this Boba Fett news. And I was just thinking to myself, should I go live right now? And no, I'm glad I didn't go live. That's all I can say. It was one of those parties where if I went live, this channel would have got shut down. But I digress. So let's see where we are. We have 116 viewers, so more than halfway there. And no, we're not living on a prayer. But let me tell you what else I got planned for this morning. John Campea has gone off the rails again. I don't know if I want to cover it too deeply, but you guys should check out his latest tweets. He's going fucking nuclear over on Twitter. The only reason he's being brought up, not because we want to start talking politics, because quite frankly, I'm tired of them. I tried watching Jeopardy the other night, and I saw every commercial was so-and-so for Senate or this or that. I'm just like, I'm not voting for you. I'm not getting involved with this right now. Mentally, I just need a break from all this politics shit. But John Campea, who is Star Wars pariah #1, is looking for attention. We got tagged in a tweet, and I thought it was mildly interesting because while I dislike John Campea for his bullshit, I don't dislike him for his personal life with his wife, and people are apparently attacking him, and he's making it a whole presidential thing. I'm just like, dude, this is why your corner of the internet continues to shrink, and people like me, Jeremy, and Ethan's continue to grow because we don't attack people blindly over ideology. You know, when shit happens, we pick ourselves up, dust ourselves off, and keep on moving towards the goal. I feel like John Campea and a lot of people have achieved their goal, and that's just being, you know, a crony, a cog in the wheel. I want to be the whole wheel, the whole thing. I'm the machine. There are little bitty parts that make up world-class bullshitters, but I'm the whole thing. I don't have those. I have more to, I don't know. I want to grow more than John Campea. We'll talk about him in a moment, too. I finally saw Daredevil Season 3, all of it, and it's 100% NPC-free, guaranteed. So don't worry about Daredevil. If you guys have been waiting to watch it, check out Razor Fist's review. But if you want my opinion, go watch it. One of the best seasons of all of Netflix TV shows pertaining to the Marvel characters. Better than all of Jessica Jones, better than all of Luke Cage, better than all of Iron Fist, obviously, better than the Defenders, better than the Punisher, maybe better than the other seasons of Daredevil. Definitely better than Season 2. You get a lot more Wilson Fisk, and I was really, really, really excited to watch it. And the ending, I actually cheered. I'll tell you guys more about that towards the end, because it's what made me cheer was not a spoiler, but it did get me amped up. And after I watched it, though, I felt quite sad because I thought, this is it. They build it up for another season, but it's never going to come. You're never going to get Daredevil again. This Disney streaming service is going to be the future. Disney Play is what it's called now. That's the future for Disney. And Daredevil is just going to die, which is sad because my God, was it good. My God, was it good. Yeah, okay, so it looks like a lot of people are very happy with Daredevil. Burn that candle, live life. Dude, I did burn that candle. I'm never mind. I'm not even going to get into it. That is not a world-class bullshit appropriate story. We'll put it like that. So, let's see. Chuck Norris is better than Daredevil. Yeah. Who's better than Chuck Norris? Nobody. No, but it was exciting to find something I really enjoyed come out of the Netflix Marvel universe. Danny Rand in Iron Fist Season 2 was slightly better, but Matt Murdock in Daredevil Season 3 was the tits. I couldn't wait to... I would watch it again, honestly, because I said to my mom, I'm like, man, I wish there was more Daredevil to watch. I'm pumped. So I'm going to go out and pick up some comic books from my local comic book shop, and then I'm going to get ready for my video with Razor Fist. So be on the lookout for that. Also, speaking of stuff to be on the lookout for, this Wednesday is Halloween. There will not be Good Morning Pop Culture, but there will be a live stream. The guys and I are going to be getting up, and we're going to be getting online at 10 a.m., and for the next, hopefully, 24 hours, we're going to try to stretch it to 24 hours. We're going to do an all-day stream of horror films. And the reason we want to go all 24 hours is because we want to close out with a 3-man booth for Good Morning Pop Culture, the first ever. So that'll be a lot of fun. Maybe we'll tag in a guest or two to help us out if we can make it through that. But that is the plan. But Wednesday, 10 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, be prepared for our first film, and that is Cabin Fever. So everybody, make sure you guys smash that muff button. We are so close to our 200 viewers. Oh, we just went down. Those 3 people have no patience. But, yeah, I'm excited to talk about this Boba Fett thing. And like I told you at the beginning, I am going to be making a separate Boba Fett video because I got a lot to say about Boba Fett. I got a lot to say. So this little bit of Good Morning Pop Culture coverage is not enough. I've decided it's never enough. We need to go in deep, 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 deep undercover. Oh, there we go. Now we're past 200 viewers. So let's get this show on the road. People are pumped over this. I'm glad you guys liked Daredevil so much. I'm glad you guys are just finding stuff to enjoy. Over the summer, all seemed lost. And maybe I wasn't in love with Halloween, like I've told you guys before, but it wasn't the worst thing. It was better than I expected. No, take it back. It wasn't better than I expected. It was kind of a disappointment, but not a disappointment enough to a level of like a Star Wars, where I get it. If people liked it, that's fine. More power to them. But it just wasn't for me. But it didn't suck. It's better than a good chunk of the Halloween film. So there's more stuff to look forward to in the future. There was a big Comic-Con yesterday, and I'm a toy guy, and they released all kinds of information on the next wave of Marvel Legends, so I'm about to be broke. But anyway, let's talk about this Boba Fett movie. Speaking of broken, Star Wars Boba Fett movie 100% dead. Report. This comes from space.com. Lucasfilm President Kathleen Kennedy says the planned Star Wars Boba Fett solo film is 100% dead, according to Eric Weber of Critics' Choice. Kathleen Kennedy just confirmed to me that Boba Fett is 100% dead, 100% focusing on The Mandalorian, Weber tweeted. The Mandalorian is currently in production for the Star Wars television series planned for Disney's Play streaming service. It is unclear if any specifics on the planned Boba Fett film could carry over to the TV series. Disney Play is expected to launch in 2019, with The Mandalorian also planned for a 2019 debut. And this information was originally published on Newsarama.com. So I am thinking 2 things right now off the top of my head after reading this. Either there was a higher edict from Bob Iger where Disney strongly believes that this streaming service is their future. They believe that this $5 a month Disney Play only for kids is going to be what they hang their hat on for the next 10 years. Now, I'm not a business analyst. I don't know Disney's game plan behind the scenes like they do, but I do think this is kind of dumb. The reason I say it's kind of dumb is not because I'm taking pleasure in dumping on Disney for another stupid mistake, but too many streaming services are becoming a problem. I mean, I personally have what? I have Netflix, Hulu, Amazon Prime, WWE Network, Shudder. So that's 5. I don't really watch many of them in the first place. I just kind of keep them. And no more, I won't buy any more. To be fair, I only pay for Netflix and Hulu, and the other 3 I share with people. This Disney Play service doesn't get me excited. First off, it's not like they're offering the original unaltered cuts in 4K of Star Wars or something really big like that, because Lucasfilm made that stupid decision to sell the rights to TBS for what? A couple $100 million, and they can't use it for a couple years. So cool for short-term money that didn't even offset the loss of Solo. But then they canceled Boba Fett, the surefire guaranteed hit. If you want to make money, you put Boba Fett on something. Let me give you a little teaser of the video I'm working on. So Boba Fett is an evergreen character like a Darth Vader, a Han Solo, a Luke Skywalker, a Stormtrooper. Those are the characters that people will buy their product of no matter what. So I'll never forget when I was in college with Dustin, back when we were closer. There's a Boba Fett figure coming out. This was in 2009 or 10. And I just remember looking for it, and I eventually found it. And now it's $90. This was just a $5 figure. This wasn't anything rare or exclusive. Mass release from Hasbro. Then a couple years later, they released the 6-inch Black Series figures, and in the second wave was Boba Fett. And I went looking, and I finally found them at the Disney store. I bought 2 because this was right after I got out of college and I needed money. So I bought one for myself and sold one, and somebody bought it within 30 minutes. Boba Fett stuff sells. Disney and Kathleen Kennedy and everyone at Lucasfilm seem to want us to submit to their new shittier characters. So what they do is they cancel them and they give us these close facsimiles or these cheap replacements, the Kmart equivalents, if you will. And I know a lot of people are worried about the Moff DeLorean being a chick. People aren't too happy about the possibility of the show being another vehicle for Kathleen Kennedy's agenda. And if it is, Star Wars is never coming back. Because enough people, here's the thing. Everybody that's one of these shitty progressive critics will be like, it's so great, it's so empowering. And the people that pay for this shit are probably gonna be like, no thanks. So that's the problem when Lucasfilm caters to the small minority of people that have no buying power that contribute to Star Wars. And this is just even dumber, because if you wanted to wipe the taste out of the bad taste out of everyone's mouth with Solo, a Star Wars story, you make a Boba Fett film. You don't show his face. You don't do anything. You just put him in a scenario like a Wild West film. What is it? The Wild Bunch they wanted to do, or the Magnificent Seven, where it's Boba Fett and other bounty hunters. I actually have what the leaked script was supposed to be. So I'll talk to you guys in that in a second. But the film could have been great. It could have been cool. And it could have really played on the nostalgia in a positive way. Rogue One played on the nostalgia in that positive way, and it worked. I firmly believe if Disney would have led with Rogue One, Solo, Boba Fett, stuff like that, and not Episode 7, and not, bland sitcom dad Poe Dameron and all these shitty characters, you'd be in a much different situation. They wouldn't have to deal with us, the fandom menace, all these other things. But they made these bad decisions intentionally, and it's ruining the fandom. They want to say, oh, well, toxic minorities are doing this and all this stuff. Well, no, we're not. We're just fed up with your garbage. But listen to this stuff. So this comes from comicbookmovie.com. The scrapped Boba Fett movie was set to focus on him and the bounty hunter scene in The Empire Strikes Back. We recently learned that Lucasfilm is no longer developing a Boba Fett movie and that they focus on The Mandalorian, but news reports shed some light on what was originally planned for the spinoff. Last week, Kathleen Kennedy confirmed that Lucasfilm has put the brakes on the Boba Fett movie, as the studio instead is focusing on developing The Mandalorian for Disney's planned streaming service. Now, Entertainment Weekly has revealed that the movie, which has been in the works since 2013, could be resurrected at some point, but is indeed dead for the time being. According to the site, the plan was to put spotlight on Fett and the bounty hunters who appeared alongside on the deck of Darth Vader's Star Destroyer during The Empire Strikes Back. Whether or not it's an indication it would have taken place around that movie rather than Return of the Jedi is hard to say. But it definitely would have been fun to see those characters get some attention, especially after all, they're A, fan favorites based on appearances alone, and B, have only ever been given love in comic books and video games up until now. Unfortunately, Boba Fett seemingly has been cursed from the start. Lucasfilm planned to show a teaser clip at Star Wars Celebration 2015 before Fantastic Four director Josh Trank was fired from the project, and it was put on hold. It seems like the last couple of years are just a loss after a loss for poor old Boba Fett. I mean, there was supposed to be Star Wars 1313, which was that awesome video game that got canceled. Oh, Boba Fett was the lead. This was that. You know, if you want to play the whole Kathleen Kennedy's agenda thing, and you might want to, because it really does come into play here. Her desire to create these new lame characters, male and female, they both suck. Rey sucks, Finn sucks, Poe sucks, Holdo sucks. Hell, Luke Skywalker is no longer Luke, he's Jake. But I think it could also be a whole anti-George Lucas thing. You see how they're treating him with this Indiana Jones flick coming out. And now anything that's a relic of the past, they seem to shit on. You'll make a Mandalorian TV show, and you'll do stuff that looks like Boba Fett, but you won't put the real Boba Fett in there. And you want to just use this as a vehicle to push more stuff. We had a super chat rolling from our friend King KDI. Thank you very much and good morning. The Black Series, TBS bought the rights because KK in no way a great production head. Keep the customers happy, make money is something KK does not believe in. It sounds like you're right. That is a very sound thought process. I just don't know why making the fans happy is a bad thing for Disney. I thought we were through the woods and that Disney was going to be able to be smart and win at Star Wars Celebration, but we're not through the woods like I thought we were. Star Wars Celebration is going to be a very telling time because if they continue to be this anti-consumer, adversarial towards the fan base production company with the property or the license to the biggest property of all time, Star Wars, well, when the fans do show up, and they will, we're not going to be very happy. Now, nobody's going to boycott. No one's going to riot in the streets or anything like that. I mean, it's Chicago after all, so it's very likely other things will be happening. And, you know, Star Wars will just be a small little drop in the bucket. But it's not like these people are going to go with big smiles on their face and say, oh, thank you, Kathleen, you've made Star Wars great. Because you haven't. No one's made Star Wars great in 13 years. The greatest achievement that Disney Star Wars has done was make the prequels look good in hindsight. And some people are saying, well, the prequels were always good. No. 3 was, 2 wasn't, 1 was a disappointment and still is. There are moments of greatness in episode 1. There are moments of fun in episode 2. And episode 3 overall is a damn fine film. And in the collecting world, after the era of everyone being tired of constant clone troopers and battle droids and all this stuff, Hasbro releases endless waves of Rey, Finn, Poe, Rose Tico, all these things. I actually found more Rose Ticos over the weekend, new ones. It's funny, too. Everybody that watches my toy videos say, well, these are all buyouts from Toys R Us, but they're not, because now I'm finding Walmart exclusive stuff in bargain outlet chains that Walmart is selling off its back stock. So it's deeper. It goes deeper than these people want to realize. Or, yeah, you know what? Want to realize is the right way to phrase that, because they don't want to believe this stuff. They want to think that the people on the internet, oh, it's just a crazy small group. There's more. There's more. But Jon Favreau, being the producer of The Mandalorian, I almost called him the mandolin, like that little slicer thing we used to cook. What a terrible crossover, a Boba Fett cooking show. Boba Fett shouldn't talk. And if they did do a Boba Fett movie, I would hope they wouldn't use Tamara Morrison's voice. I know he's a clone. I don't know. Have him get shot or something under the neck so his voice is cool like it used to be. If you haven't heard the original Boba Fett voice from pre-2004, go out and listen to it. It's way better. Way better. I see a lot of people talking about the prequel. So they had people like the games, people like the movies. The thing is, looking back, I'm not all of a sudden changing my tune, because then people would like to say, well, you'll probably change your tune after episodes, whatever comes out after episode 7, 8, 9. You'll be like, well, at least episode 7, 8, 9 had this, that, and that. And I'm like, no. 7, 8, 9 damaged Star Wars beyond repair. Observer Dude, thank you very much for your super chat. I'd like a Mace Windu movie set after Revenge of the Sith about Mace seeking revenge against the Emperor Vader. Ian McDiarmid could return as Palpatine. So Mace Windu would be handless, and he'd be going after the Emperor, and Vader would have to beat him. That could be a cool movie, though. Setting something in the prequels like that may not suck. It may not suck at all. I do like hearing people's concepts for Star Wars movies. I mean, obviously, Observer, dude, you're the only one that's pitched one right now, but still, I like that concept. That'd be something I'd watch. We should have a live stream. We did it once before, but that was when the channel was a lot smaller. Like, pitch us your dream Star Wars movie, and that'd be a lot of fun. You can't rewrite the episode 7 and 8, but you can make your own movie, and that would be Observer Dudes. I would like that, though. If you're gonna make movies based on these old characters, do the ones where you don't miss a beat, like Vader in Rogue One. Yes, his voice was slightly off. You could alter that and fix it. But when you had somebody else doing the Vader costume and stuff, it looked like Vader was back. He had the mannerisms down. It was neat. The CGI Leia, the CGI Tarkin just doesn't, work. But Boba Fett could have. It could have been people in suits, this, that, and the other. You would not have missed a beat. The one time you wouldn't have missed a beat is the one time they cancel it. I know a lot of the shill media is going to be like, oh, it's so great that they canceled it because Boba Fett's this and that, and it's a relic of a bygone era. Well, so is Star Wars. Either give the shit that people want or don't make it. Billy Ritchie, Super Chat, says, how long do you think The Simpsons has left? Well, Billy Ritchie, not long. I heard about Apu getting the boot. Now, Apu has never been my favorite Simpsons character, but I like him. My favorite's Homer, then Bart. I think my least favorite character in TV history might be Lisa Simpson. I can't stand her. But with Apu gone and them kowtowing to these crazy NPC, I don't really like entertainment, but I want to be offended group, The Simpsons has a couple years left. I think because Disney now owns Fox, but I think Matt Groening has control over that stuff. I could see him leaving and then a lot of the people leaving as well. And then The Simpsons becomes a hollow shell. The only people I think would stick around would be the voice actors if Disney offered them stupid amounts of money, like $10 million an episode or something stupid like that. But other than that, those actors, I think, would go away. That show is on its way out. A lot of people say it should have ended 10 years ago. It's nice to have it on every once in a while. The Simpsons ain't what it used to be, but now it's just going to become bad. They should get rid of Simpsons, Family Guy, American Dad, all those shows. They're just not as good as King of the Hill, which is sadly over. I like how everyone's shitting on Lisa Simpson. She was SJW before it existed. She's an NPC. Yeah, maybe before the buzzwords existed, those kind of people just rubbed me the wrong way. I don't know. It's just not for me. The funny thing, though, is a couple of years, maybe last season, The Simpsons did a whole thing about outrage culture and made fun of it, like hardcore. Same thing with Family Guy. They made fun of outrage culture, too. But for some reason, maybe it's the Disney merger, that kind of stuff has gone away. I agree with Kenny Powers. This King of the Hill never had a bad season. It's funny you bring it up. Last night, I had that discussion with my mom. We were talking about something because I bought a Beavis and Butthead book. We were talking about Mike Judge. And she said about King of the Hill. I was like, yeah, Mom, King of the Hill never had a bad show. And we talked for about 30 minutes of all the episodes we liked. I love King of the Hill. Some people think it's too boring. I don't. King of the Hill's fantastic, in my opinion. Yeah, Apu is not portrayed in a disrespectful way. I bet it's just because Hank Azaria does the voice. Hank Azaria, not Azario. Hank Azaria does the voice of Apu and not an actual Indian guy. If Aziz Ansari voiced Apu, then people will be like, well, he can stay. But the identity comes from Hank Azaria. And we live in this era of, well, if a white dude does it, it's bad. The funny thing is, it's only a small sect of people out in Hollywood that have those views. Once we get to a certain point, people are just going to stop buying into that whole rhetoric garbage. Pocket sand. Yeah. Oh, my God. Oh, my God. Kenny Powers, that's my favorite episode, too. I don't know what Kevin James' show is. I don't watch. Oh, King of Queens. We could really break down. You know what? Let me know in the chat. What are some terrible fucking sitcoms that everyone likes that you hate? I'm not a Seinfeld or a Frasier or a Cheers fan. Those are shows that are popular that I just do not enjoy. The stuff I like, sitcom-wise, is like It's Always Sunny. I guess I like cruder humor the older I get. Stuff that needs to make me laugh so hard I have a headache, which has actually happened. Is it okay for a white kid to dress as Black Panther? You goddamn right it is. If a black kid can be Spider-Man or anything they want to be, why can't a white kid be Black Panther? It goes both ways. It's very hypocritical. You know, Dion's kid wants to dress up as a Ninja Turtle. He ain't green or a turtle. You get what I'm saying? Oh man, the TV shows that people do not like. I'm just sorry. I'm not trying to be silent. I'm just reading them go by. A lot of hate. Let's see. The Office, don't really like it. Big Bang Theory, don't like it. Finally, a white Black Panther. King of Queens, that show shit. Roseanne, yeah, I wasn't really a fan either. I love Kat Dennings too. Married with Children, man, that show was amazing. Jeff the Iron Wolf, thank you very much for your super chat. Give me a rated R Darth Bane movie. See, a rated R Star Wars anything isn't going to happen. I know people say, Jeff, you shouldn't say never, ever, ever, but unless there's something seriously wrong with Disney Star Wars, well, there is. Until they admit to it, they're not going to go through the rated R route. I would like it. I would have liked this Boba Fett movie to be grim as hell. Very little humor. If it was supposed to be with the bounty hunters from the bridge of Darth Vader's executor, that would have been Boba Fett, Dengar, Bosk, IG-88, 4-LOM, and Zuckuss. Don't have them be comedic jokester, robot / droid / bounty hunters. Have it be grim, dark, serious, and they're going after the same bounty. I would love to have seen something and give it a really awesome, like get Ennio Morricone to do the score, kind of like he did for the Hateful Eight. Make the score very Hateful Eight-like. And don't do like the stupid bright solo opening and all that shit. No crawl, no a long time ago, no nothing. It just starts in the middle of a battle, or you're in like a cantina or something really dark and gritty, and you see some guy. Oh, you remember how Rogue One started? How that guy was running down the hallway or the alleyway Cassian Andor? Do something like that where you know this guy's being chased, and all you see are like Boba Fett's feet. And he keeps running, and you keep seeing Boba Fett's feet. And eventually the guy gets to a certain point, and you think, oh, where's Boba Fett? And he kind of like just drops in, and Boba Fett, I don't know, either shoots the guy, snaps his neck, does something to him, and just really, really kicks his ass. And you're like, wow, Boba Fett's so cool. And then he uses his jetpack properly and flies away. That would be a cool opening. Or maybe, let's see, let's say it takes place between Empire and Jedi. So Han Solo's been captured. That way you can show the Empire and the Rebel Alliance and all, and sell all that shit too. But then you could, I don't know, have Boba Fett take down something for the against the Rebels. There's endless possibilities. It's hard to play armchair quarterback, aka armchair movie script writer, this early in the morning. The Pui, thank you very much. Good morning, Jeff. The Pui, good morning to you too, my friend. Hope you guys had a good weekend. Mine was too good, if you know what I mean. I'm still feeling it. General Grievous needs an origin movie. That sounds pretty decent, honestly. Observer Dude, thank you very much for your super chat. Do you think they should make Simpsons movie 2? I do not. I didn't like Simpsons movie 1. A lot of people did. I just didn't find it funny. Like, I bought into the whole Spider Pig thing. But other than that, I just... no. Love of Knowledge, thank you very much for your super chat. Give me a Darth Bane trilogy right out of the books. I need to read the books. I'm getting myself an Audible account so I can listen to some books while I work on the comic, because I was like, I don't need to listen to podcasts all day. I need something productive, so I'm going to get books. But maybe once I get through a couple of these books I want to read, maybe a Star Wars EU book could be it. Maybe I'll become a fan. You know, over the weekend, I also found a Facebook group that shits on the Star Wars EU, and it's like the worst group ever. I almost posted it, but I thought, nah, I don't want to give these people attention. They talked about it in our Facebook page, so if you know what I'm talking about, I checked it out. It's terrible. Thank you. Midnight Cherry TV, thank you very much for your super chat. Can I go as a horse, but in blackface to scare Dion? Sure. It's 2018, man. You do you. But I'm surprised you don't want to go as the spleen. I'm just, I expected a little more out of you, Midnight Cherry TV. Still hoping for an origin of the Sarlacc Pit movie. Well, yeah, Kathleen Kennedy biography is on its way really soon. King KDI, thank you very much for your super chat. I thought it was shows that we liked. Also, Star Wars universe is so large, you could do a various PG-13 movie Venom style Bane or Revan story. Maybe it was the shows. I'm sorry. Like I said, I'm barely with it this morning. I'm doing my best to hold it together. I'm giving it all I got, Captain. Believe me, if I didn't have a couple cups of coffee left and a lot of water, I'd probably fall asleep right now. And I went to bed at like 8:30 last night. PG-13 like Venom. Yeah, I mean, it doesn't need to be R for R's sake. And to be fair, with the way Star Wars works, when you shoot somebody, they don't blow apart. It just goes through them and cauterizes it. But don't be afraid to like episode 8, or not episode 8, because episode 3 had decapitations and stuff like that. So don't be afraid to show that stuff. Maybe Boba Fett blows up somebody with a thermal detonator strapped to their chest, or shoots somebody in the face. Just something like that to make Boba Fett cool. And you know what? Don't overly humanize him. I know that sounds dumb, but people like John Kasdan who can't get over like weird emotional issues, certain characters don't need to be overly developed. You know, last night for the first time I saw the movie The Deadpool, Dirty Harry. I had seen the first Dirty Harry, and I think I'd seen Magnum Force years ago. And I was blown away by The Deadpool. I just thought this movie kicked so much ass. But I liked how in that movie, Harry, obviously it built to that, but so much of it was face value. You know, they don't go deep stuff about his parents and this and that. With Boba Fett, I don't like knowing he's a clone and all this stuff, but at the same time, you can redeem it by making him basically play into the stereotype that the fans have for him. So just have him do all these crazy things. Don't ever have him take off his helmet. Don't make him fall in love or anything like that. Have it be about the money and the pride. Like, make him like the Predator, you know, the real one from 1987, not this 2018 burgery one that Mahler talks about. And there you go. I feel like Lucasfilm, well, they could cut me a check for about $10 million, and with the help of a Fandom Menace, we could fix Star Wars in a weekend. Let's see. The Pui, thank you very much for your super chat. Went to a Comic-Con this weekend where I found Turkish Star Wars, posted to your Facebook. I saw that. I was scrolling through The Man Who Saved the World. I'm like, I didn't know this had a DVD release. Obviously, it's a bootleg, but I thought to myself, I kind of want to watch that. I've seen the movie. I hope you bought it, because it's so bad, folks. If you don't know what I'm talking about, imagine it's like shitty Power Rangers meets Raiders of the Lost Ark music with Star Wars footage cut in, and then like Sesame Street level puppetry. Well, Sesame Street's a little too good for The Man Who Saved the World. The Man Who Sold the World. St. David Bowie. That is a good song, though. But, Pui, I'm glad you had a fun time at your Comic-Con. I ran into my buddy that I know from Comic-Cons, and I was getting a little nostalgic for the shows. Because even though, Marvel's shitty, the atmosphere can be fun. But I do want to warn people, if you listen to this channel and you've never been to a comic convention, you're going to see a lot of those NPC type of people at these shows. It seems to attract those type of folks. But like I always suggest, treat them with respect unless they start overtly attacking you about shit, you know? It's a weird... geek culture is a weird climate. It's like they're really trying to hold on to... I don't know, the people that run these things definitely have a certain agenda, a certain slant to them. And I wouldn't be surprised if down the road you go to a convention and they say, well, you're white, you can't be Black Panther. And then that would cause a whole shitstorm. Like, part of me would love if they outlawed cosplay at certain shows just to watch people bitch on Twitter. But I don't really want to take anybody's fun away. I just want to have a good laugh for like an hour. Am I going to cover the wet dream that is Doctor Who now? I probably won't unless people ask. Ugh, I hate Doctor Who nowadays. And that's going from Capaldi on. Nothing got me like Tennant. When David Tennant was the Doctor, I loved that show so much. Now, not so much. Matt Smith, less. Now this. I can't say I've... Okay, sorry. Alpha Terranema says, I would say make Boba Fett movie like Fury Road in space, but when we get Monkey Pawed with him getting completely emasculated by a non-Furiosa. Yeah, I don't want that. Why do they keep making these movies about these great characters that kind of get cucked out for the, whatchamacallit, some unknown character? Furiosa was legit, though. These new Star Wars Disney characters aren't legit. I can't get behind them. And it's not to harp on, women or minorities, because, Disney, they look at me, they're like, well, shit, he's not a white dude. What do we say? Better watch our tongue, or else we'll be considered racist. Yeah, Disney, you'll become the thing you hate if you attack me. But all joking aside, I just want these characters to be badass characters, dudes, chicks, whatever. But just don't use these new female characters to shit on the old guard, because the old guard makes you so much bank. Come on, Disney, you're in business. If you believe the shit you said with Star Wars, get rid of Mickey Mouse and all that other garbage. No more Mickey Mouse this, no more Toy Story that. Toy Story came out 23 years ago. Get over it. Let the past die. Everything's about, what is that movie? In and Out. You know, if it's not In and Out, then cancel. You know, that's how stupid they are. It's funny. Disney is the company that is still harping on shit from 1930, whatever. Whenever Steamboat Willie came out, they still, we're going to open the vault and release this movie and do this and do that. And all these things, they keep living in the past. Why they remake old movies. That's why they reboot shit like Pirates of the Caribbean. They keep living in the past. But when it comes to Star Wars, they go out of their way to shit on it. Is it because they didn't create their past? Is that it? Is there some kind of financial deal where they make more if it's their own characters? Doubt it. But it's just so bizarre and odd. And it keeps getting bizarre, and more odd every single day. It's not like tomorrow everything's going to go back to normal. It's going to get even more extreme, become more exacerbated. The Pui, thank you very much, The Pui. There was a shit ton of NPCs at LA Con. My buddy at my Halloween party was dressed as an NPC. It's funny. I talked to him quite a bit, but I found out he listens to the show all the time. So to my NPC costume buddy, if you're out there, what up, man? But I digress. No, these shows are just very, very interesting. That's all I can say. Maybe maybe we should go to one next time, and we'll live stream and we'll ask people about their thoughts on a list of questions, and you guys can watch their faces or their heads explode proverbially. Mr. V says, "Morning, Jeff. I know it's racist, but all the clones look the same to me." Well, Mr. V, it is racist. But as long as you support the channel, well, we'll forgive you. It's funny. I saw the Aquaman trailer, and I keep seeing Tamara Morrison. I'm like, is that a clone? He's an okay actor. He was in 6 Days and 7 Nights, and then one other thing that I've seen. It is interesting. You know, it's funny. In 2002, when Tamara Morrison was announced as the Jango Fett, the progenitor of all the clones, nobody batted an eye. If that was today, everyone would go, it's so empowering of a man of minority status, this, that, and the other, that he's the fake. That is the stupid shit we live in nowadays. They would have made a big deal about it. Back then, it's just like, okay, cool, no big deal. That's what clones look like. There were a lot more people of different races in the new Star Wars movies from the prequel era, but no one complained because it wasn't, George Lucas didn't put it in your face. It's just like, oh, okay, Captain Panaka's black, or Captain Typho is mixed, or whatever. It's not a big deal. They're just there. Star Wars is more progressive than these people could ever imagine. Frank Marshall is a lucky guy. Not. Yeah, Frank Marshall, man. Talked about a cucked out husband. Ooh, David M. got the day booked off work for your horror marathon. Well, David M., thank you very much for spending the day with us. It's going to be fun. I'm going to make sure after tomorrow night's High Council, which is on Ethan's channel? Yes. Oh, shit, tonight is our Walking Dead thing with Brandon Moist. I completely forgot about that. I'm glad I looked at my calendar. I'll make sure the other guys are available. But yeah, tomorrow night's High Council, I'm going straight to bed, sleeping in, and then it's all day horror on Halloween. I'll even wear my Axel Foley jacket. So people are talking about Red Dead Redemption and NPCs. Does somebody want to fill me in what the deal is? I don't have Red Dead Redemption 2 yet, and I haven't spent any time on social media reading about it. So if you guys want to fill me in, I'd love to learn about it and talk about it with you guys right now. Brandon Moist says, I can't wait for tonight. Thank you very much for your super chat, Brandon Moist. Nor can I. The Moist will be here, folks. Ladies and gentlemen, the Moist is in the building. Well, he will be soon. It's going to be a nonstop Walking Dead bitch fest. I've been reading Walking Dead articles, The Walking Dead articles over the weekend because the show just keeps slipping and slipping. And I take great pleasure in knowing that the show is just going the way of what other shows have been shitty over the years. Like, I don't know, The Big Bang Theory, just one day it'll be gone. They're upset about the game's portrayal of women in the Wild West. Well, tough shit. If it's how it was back in the day, that's how it was back in the day. History's history. You can't change it. That's the number one thing that pisses me off about these people. Well, it was culturally insensitive. Motherfucker, that's how it was back then. Get over yourself. Get over yourself. That's all I can say. Unless you can go back in time in a DeLorean and you can, preach your bullshit and not get eaten by a bear, well, then you can go back and you can change the past. But until then, shut the fuck up and be glad you live in an era where you have all these freedoms to bitch about non-existent problems. That's the beauty of the world for these people. They got nothing going on. They got stupid degrees in like German interpretive dance. Cool. You can live that life. Poor, but you can live your life any way you want. So that is another reason why I refused to go see that Neil Armstrong movie, because they altered it. I actually wanted to see it. Like I said in a video, there's something about the dramas that I kind of want to, I was like, well, what's the deal with Ryan Gosling? He's considered this great actor. Okay, let's watch some serious movies. Let's see what all this shit is about. Let's expand my palette, because geek culture stuff, while great, there's only so much that comes out. It's less and less comes out that appeals to me. So I thought I'm going to try something new, and then I heard about that, and I'm like, no, don't alter history. I don't like that. No matter how uncomfortable it makes you, you have to deal with it. And like I said, just be glad we're beyond that. So it looks like people are loving Red Dead Redemption. I'm glad you guys are enjoying it. Like I said, with all the bullshit that's in entertainment right now, we need to be able to sit down and enjoy something. Be it a video game, a movie, a TV show. Like I had my Daredevil experience, and I was so happy watching something that just took me out of this garbage world that we live in. Yeah, I know that sounds really, really harsh. The world isn't garbage. The world is however you perceive it. I perceive it to be a good place, and I have a lot of good things going on. So I don't take that negative approach. But due to the nature of this job, I do have to look into the abyss that is known as the NPC soul, where there's nothing there. They're just empty, heartless robots. There's an episode of Spider-Man. Okay, so a lot of people don't know this, but back in 1981, I believe it was 81, not 82, there were two Spider-Man cartoons. There was Spider-Man and there was Spider-Man and His Amazing Friends. And there's an episode called Dr. Doom, Master of the Universe, where Dr. Doom uses like this robotic thing to turn everybody into shells of themselves so he can control the United Nations. And when people say about these NPCs and this stuff in this culture today, that's what I think of. Dr. Doom controlling everybody, and they all just kind of say whatever, and they do the greater good, like from Hot Fuzz, just something like that. And I don't like that anymore. I want people to start thinking for themselves again. What do you think it's going to take? In the chat, let me know. What do you think it's going to take for these people? Like, I know social media has given a voice to all like the small minority. It's so funny. They want to attack a small minority when it comes to Star Wars fans, but then it's an even smaller minority that these people cater to so they don't be offended. It's like, I get it. You sit around all day in a fucking lush office. What can we do to be more progressive? What can we do to be, this and that? People won't like my answer. Tell them to shut up. I'm not very nice when it comes to these things. Glad people are liking Dr. Doom. Make sure you guys watch that cartoon if you have a chance. If you're in the UK, on DVD, it's called Spider-Man 5000. I don't know why, but it is. But it's a good show. It's got the same animation style as Spider-Man and His Amazing Friends, but it has a different Spider-Man voice actor. And I like it more than I like Spider-Man and His Amazing Friends. There's no Firestar or Iceman. This is before Iceman was gay. His orientation doesn't even matter to me. He just never has been a favorite character of mine. So I think we've had enough. If you have anything else Star Wars related, speak now or forever hold your peace, because we're going to move on to a couple other things. Like I said, we got some stuff to talk about this morning, but I just wanted to give you guys a taste of this Boba Fett news, because I am going to be, after I get off of here, I'm going to be working on the video for this. This Boba Fett information, this situation is too interesting to not do an actual separate video. So make sure you guys are on the lookout for a more in-depth one where I go through all kinds of things. Because Boba Fett is a great character. Boba Fett is, maybe he's top 5 for me. And a lot of people love him. And there's no reason not to make a Boba Fett movie outside. Well, we're focused on The Mandalorian. The Mandalorian show better be fucking incredible, Kathleen. This better be like the greatest show ever made. I'm talking, you can't have a bad episode. You can't have any of this nonsense agenda shit. You better be balls to the wall, action crazy, story building, blowing our minds, everything. If it's great, it's great. I doubt it's going to be, though. There's more talk about James Gunn and Michael Rooker. That's another goddamn story I'm tired of. I'm so sorry. I don't mean to be angry with you guys, but I can't deal with that storyline anymore. It's like, I get it, okay? It's done. Suicide Squad 2 ain't going to be great. What about the Rebel Fleet massing near Sullust? It is of no concern to me, American Trent 007. Is Brie Larson talking more shit? I don't know. I don't follow her. I try to, I take the Toucan Sam approach. Follow my nose wherever it goes. Well, Brie Larson stinks, so anything the opposite direction of Brie Larson is where my nose goes. But it looks like you guys have had your shout out to Jeff, who never gets one. Well, thank you, Mirrored Jeremy. Thank you. It's nice to get a shout out on Good Morning Pop Culture. Thank you. I feel honored now. I'm feeling a little bit more of that energy coming back to my body after this long weekend. Chad Vader, it's a great show too. I had it on DVD the first season, and then they took it off, and you could only watch it on YouTube. But it was a good show. That guy I don't think does a good Darth Vader voice though. Matt, what's his name? Matt something. We need a better, deeper, darker Darth Vader. That's all I can say. Oh, Brie Larson and her less males to write reviews. You know what? I want less Brie Larson to exist. Brie, just go off into another dimension, step into that Twilight Zone portal, and see what happens when you wake up in 1957 America and you're black. Speaking of Twilight Zone, Jordan Peele over the weekend, they said he's going to remake Nightmare at 20,000 Feet. Let me guess. It's going to be a black dude with a white wife, and they're going to make it. I guarantee people are like, Jeff, you seem really hard up about Jordan Peele's Twilight Zone. You like his show. Key and Peele, why don't you give him a chance? Because Get Out's bullshit, and he's now buying into his own hype. That's what I hate about a lot of people. You get certain actors, certain celebrities that they do something, and then they do something else, and they do something else. They don't buy into their own hype. They're always trying to build up to the next big thing. Like Harrison Ford with the first Star Wars movie. He made sure he took as many roles as possible not to get typecast as Han Solo and not buy into the whole thing. And then that worked for him. Now, Jordan Peele, was a great comedian. I loved Key and Peele. Loved that show so much. But then, he gets this movie, Get Out. He gets all this praise, these accolades, and now they're trying to give him the smartest TV show ever made. And he's trying to build himself up as this intellectual writer, but he really is just one note. And I know people are thinking, well, you haven't seen it yet. You got to give it a chance. I'll watch it just to say, I told you so. People said that kind of shit to me back in 2015 with those Star Wars trailers. I saw it coming a mile away. Pretty good at picking these things out. Oh god, the Sabrina the Teenage Witch thing. I refuse to watch that. I keep seeing it on Netflix. Nope, not gonna do it. Not gonna do it. Let's see. I can imagine Dimension where Fallout franchise sucked ass with Fallout 4 being an absolute worst of all. My friend Veronica would cry. I've heard about Star Wars Theory's Vader fan film, but not their web series. If Captain Marvel flops, we're going to have a celebration here on the channel. It ain't going to flop, but I'm going to guess it makes less than, I don't know. What if it made Incredible Hulk money? Oh, shit. That'd be funny. Because here's the thing, too. Marvel, just for a quick moment, because this Captain Marvel thing is a problem in the making. Let's say Captain Marvel doesn't hit the way Marvel wants. Marvel would be smart to shut up. They can let all these asshole writers, the John Campeas of the world, go on and on and on about, race and sex and gender and all these things, and they can make it all about that shit. But they have Infinity War Chapter 2 coming out, whatever it's called. I'm just calling it that tentatively. They do not want to take the fans in the last 60 days, make them disinterested in a movie. Look at Star Wars. Between Solo, Episode 8 and Solo, the morale for Star Wars shit the bed. Bottom level. It's in your basement. It's scraping the bottom of that barrel. You hear that? That's the barrel being scraped. That's where Star Wars morale was. And then it flopped. You don't want that to get infected with the MCU because the MCU has a lot more going on. Star Wars has got the Game of Thrones series, and that Rian Johnson series ain't happening. He can go make Knives Out with James Bond and Bruce Willis and every other fucking actor that ever existed, but he ain't making Star Wars episodes whatever. Disney, Marvel would be so smart to shut up about this agenda shit because really right now it's a very politically charged climate, both ways. But you're going to find out that the extremist stuff that people tout online about their entertainment is going to turn off a lot of people. Some people don't want their kids watching crap like that. Some people don't want to watch crap like that. Some people just don't want to be bothered by crap like that. And at the end of the day, it's all about personal choice, personal responsibility, personal freedom to choose what you want to do. But as a company whose goal is to make money, to appeal to as many people as possible, I find it smart to keep your fingers clean, your hands clean out of any of this garbage, be it super left, super right, whatever. You just kind of keep yourself in a happy area where you can appeal to everybody, and you just ignore the extreme writers about, oh, this represents that, and then we're going to take down the patriarchy and all this other shit. Because you're going to piss off men and women on both sides when you infect your entertainment with that. So just don't do it. That's all I can say. Don't do it. Okay, so some people don't want it to happen. I don't want it to happen either. I'm not trying to... Look, I don't want Marvel movies to flop. I've been reading a lot of comics and working on stealing Solo and stuff. And I'm thinking, man, this is really good stuff. You know, I got my foot in the door. I got my own thing coming out. I want this to go on and on and on and be able to make good stuff and have a big market for, you know, to reach as many people as possible. But it's almost like it's an effort to get people to not want to read comic books anymore. And then eventually they'll stop wanting to watch the movies. I mean, these shows get canceled left and right. There hasn't been anything consistent in the comic. You know what's weird is the X-Men franchise has been the longest running comic book franchise, I believe, because Spider-Man got rebooted after 10 years. Then, or actually 5 technically, 2007 to 2012 is when it got rebooted. Then we had Spider-Man's been rebooted twice. There's the MCU. Iron Man has been around for 8 years. 10 years. X-Men's been around so they got 17 years out of their franchise. So it'd be nice to have some consistency in this world. David Cook, thank you very much for Super Chat. My wife started watching Sabrina the Teenage Witch, and she said it's filled with SJW bullshit. Very sad. They can't leave anything alone anymore. David, that bothers me because I used to I know this is a different version of Sabrina based off the Riverdale people, which I ain't watching that teeny CW bullshit. But I did watch the old one with Melissa Joan Hart. I liked her as a kid. You know, back in the day, I keep sounding so old at 30, but back then you could watch shows about a female lead and it wasn't cringy and shitty. Like Clarissa Explains It All was a great show. I watched that all the time. Clarissa, Sam, Ferguson, I watched that show on Nickelodeon. That was on all the time. And that was one of my favorite shows as a kid. Nowadays, they make it, Clarissa she was whatever. She was just a cool chick who was smart and this and that. Nowadays, they want to make it political. They want to make it all of these things. And that would turn off me, and it would turn off a lot of people. And it's said that Sabrina the Teenage Witch is like that too, because I remember the good Sabrina the Teenage Witch and that damn cat Salem and how I liked to watch that show quite a bit. But, and sometimes Harvey was an idiot, but it wasn't like he wasn't a malicious idiot. They didn't write him to be this weak weirdo. It just, it played into the script at times. But now you got these people who are like, they got this boner to kill the male characters and make them look like idiots. And your wife is the one calling this out too. So I would love for somebody to be like, well, blah, 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 and start critiquing her opinion. She's like, I'm a woman. What are you trying to say? Because they want to act online. The thing is, the reflection online isn't as great as they think. It's more than just dudes that are pissed off. Maybe people like me are the ones that got out and did something about it, said it publicly multiple times. But there are people that listen to this show and Geeks and Gamers and Ethan and go, yeah, I agree. So they'll subscribe and they'll listen and they'll support in that way. They may not go out of their way to voice their opinions, but they'll watch a video and they'll get in a comments section and they'll talk about it here. So there's a lot more to this culture war. It's funny. I thought we were going to slow down towards Christmas, but if anything, it seems to be ramping up for 2019 to be this fucking insane year. Now, there's a culture war that goes on with more than just entertainment. We fight. We don't really fight. We're just involved in the entertainment aspect because we talk about entertainment every day. But they definitely get into there's a political aspect to all of this too. And right now it's interesting, especially with elections next week and all these big controversies that are going on right now. It's basically a big shitstorm everywhere you go. You either got the person that was sending that bullshit in the mail, that terrible shooter. You had Megyn Kelly and all this crap too. It's just a really bizarre time. Like this next the build up to the next week is just going to be really, really crazy. So we won't be really covering it here because we're not a political channel. But The world's rapidly changing in a weird way. That's all I can say. People are looking for good news on a shitty day. Well, I don't have any great news right now, my friends. All I can tell you guys is that this Boba Fett movie has been canceled. But the good news is I'll be making a video about it. So if you like our snarky short form videos, be prepared for that. That's all I can tell you guys if you're looking for something good. I have not seen Star Wars Only's video. I don't even know who Star Wars Only is. Let me look to see if I'm subscribed. I don't want to sound like our channel's too big to pay attention to other YouTubers. Hell, Star Wars Only may have more viewers than us. It ain't a thing about that. I just don't. Star Wars Only. Never heard of them. Okay. So let's see. They got why Star Wars canceled the Clone Wars. All this shit. Oh, okay. So they seem to be part of the fandom menace. Okay. I haven't seen any of their videos. That's all. I wish them the best. Anybody, even if you don't like our channel, I wish you the best because you got to be more creative than me to beat us. And good luck because I bring it. That's all I can say. I bring it. Rockstar offends everyone. I fucking love Rockstar. Rockstar is with Grand Theft Auto 6. That is the last bastion of hope for shooting down SJW culture in video games. If Grand Theft Auto 6 comes out, to talk about, I would be pissed because look, it's not. I don't even have to preface this with I really don't want to play as a woman in Grand Theft Auto. I just don't, because you go to hookers and you do all this stuff. It's kind of like a male crime fantasy. I don't want to go to a dude prostitute in Grand Theft Auto as a woman character. I'm just not going to want to play it as much. I don't care what color my guy is. I don't care where he comes from in the world. Nico Bellic sucked, and it wasn't because he was Eastern European. It's because that game had bad controls. The cars drove like boats. Your cousin Roman called you all the damn time. Brucey was annoying. All this shit. Grand Theft Auto 4 was a disappointment. 5, awesome. You had Trevor, you had Michael, you had Franklin. Loved the character. San Andreas, you had CJ. Loved the character as well. The only way Grand Theft Auto could pull this off is if they started selling you, oh, you're gonna have a female protagonist in this one, and then like something crazy happens and she dies. I'm like, yeah, no, and they go on. But I think for money's sake, which is what these companies want, Rockstar is basically a two-property studio: Red Dead and Grand Theft Auto. And Grand Theft Auto 5 is probably the most successful video game of all time, with the hundreds of millions of dollars they make in DLC, as well as the $1 billion they made in the first week of sales, and then it was re-released on the next gen of consoles as well. I love Grand Theft Auto 5. I've played the fuck out of it. I hope Rockstar never goes down that path of trying to get woke. That will, let's see, if that will break my heart. That's all I can say. Trevor is Uber Chad. Trevor's funny. I thought I was going to hate Trevor. I actually really liked him. I want more representation in video games. Where are the tranny hookers? I don't know. Trevor is kind of a psycho. Yes, he is. I enjoyed that a lot, though. I used to get him. I would put him in that shitty brown tuxedo and the monkey mask, and then we would jump off shit and kill him. A lot of fun. Let's see. Trevor's my spirit animal. Yeah, oh my God. I love it. I love it so much. But don't get me talking about Grand Theft Auto, because I'll maybe dig up my PlayStation and start playing in that Boba Fett video a while. SJW PC version of GTA would be real life. Too boring. Yeah, I want to be crazy and extreme. I understand there are limits with Grand Theft Auto, like you can't kill a kid or you can't do this. That's fine. I don't want to hurt kids, but I should be able to blow up anybody on the street any way I want. So, some old ladies waiting on a bus, boom, grenade. Some dudes waiting on a bus, boom, grenade. Oh, gasoline can, this, that, and the other. The games are meant to be extreme. Like they used to be able to cut people's heads off in the games, and they took that out because it was too violent. That was in Vice City with the katana, and I believe they got rid of that in San Andreas. It might still be in San Andreas. I didn't use the katana very much. But they toned it down a bit. It used to be GTA 4. You see, the funny thing is, GTA 4 was them trying to be progressive in 2008, and the world wasn't there yet. But it got all these great accolades in the press, and it sold, and it did fine. but it didn't do what GTA 5 did, or GTA 5 returned to the craziness, the witty satire, all that stuff. If you listen to the radio shows, they make fun of Hollywood and how people want to be actors and all these things and what they'll do to make it. GTA 5 had its finger on the pulse. 4 was ahead of its time, but in a good and bad way. Because if that would have come out in 2013, where Kotaku was a thing, people would have really built that game up. They would have got a big head about themselves, and then we'd be stuck with this socially conscious Grand Theft Auto. Rhett Theoline, thank you very much for super chat, my friend. Sup, Jeff, king of the shitters. It's a title I accept. No one can take my crown or my throne, because I'll whoop your ass. I am the king of the shitters. Makes me think of Stephen King. Meteor shit. If anyone can tell me what movie that's from, I will give you a shout out. You can decapitate people in Red Dead Redemption 2. Shit. I might. That's not going to sell me on the game, but I was already sold on the game. There we go. Trencher 1375 got it right away. Boom. John Monaco was a close second. Oh, but shout out to Trencher 1375 for getting that reference. Now, folks, Creepshow will. Oh wait, isn't Creepshow will be watched on our Halloween stream? So be prepared for that. It's a lot of fun. Oh my god. Al Bundy is king of the shitters, king of the Ferguson. I wish GTA had an SJW character and a catapult so I could launch them to the moon. Yeah, eventually they will. If Rockstar's smart, they're going to play up on a lot of people's emotions like Doom is. You remember how Jeremy from the Quartering talking about they made fun of they're not demons, they're something challenged. They're lifelessly challenged or some shit like that. I'm hoping that video games go that approach to just make fun of this outrage culture, because the people that, like I keep saying to you guys, the people that spend the money, don't care what some California writer has to say. They don't live in a place I like to call the real world. You know, out there is this fantasy land where they're all so considerate, yet the most vile, vain, idiotic people on the planet. Don't ever listen. Watch out who writes these articles for you. That's all I can say. We had a bunch of super chats roll in. First off, from Proper Jeremy, thank you very much. Proper Jeremy works at Rockstar, and we are working very hard to ensure that Grand Theft Auto 4 is the most woke, inclusive GTA game. Excuse me, Grand Theft Auto 6 is the most woke and inclusive GTA game of all time. Just for you, Jeff. Oh, Proper Jeremy, could you get me some insider information on the game? Just for me. Since you're going to make the game woker than shit, just for me, could you hook me up too? We'll become a gaming channel, and we'll get 45 million subscribers. I got exclusive access to GTA 6, The Wokening. Oh, I hope it's not that. I'm concerned about that for real. Our friend Swinging Cod says, if the company that made Manhunt 2 goes woke, we're all screwed. Yeah, Rockstar is that last bastion of hope. I'm hoping against everything that Rockstar doesn't go that path. Do you want it? No, nobody wants it. If you're offended by a video game, don't play the fucking game. I'm offended that Call of Duty is the same shit every year, so I don't play it. Okay, I'm not really offended. I don't care. You're never going to hear me say... The only thing I think ever offended me, not because of a different sensibility, but because it was terrible, was Tales from the Hood 2. What a terrible movie. Marette Theoline, thank you very much for your super chat. I've spent the last 2 days watching cartoons play Red Dead Redemption 2 on YouTube. I've never heard of Cartoons with a Z. I guess that's a channel I'll have to check out. I mean, I wish people would watch me play video games on YouTube. That'd be awesome. That's a hint. I'll do some streaming in the near future. I just got to get through this comic and a couple other things. Evil wins because good is dumb. Now, that's a movie I know. Spaceballs. They have one. There's a female paleontologist in 1899. She tried to give me a quest, and I shot her repeatedly. I don't know why I laughed like that. I'm sorry. That's just funny. Dude, Red Dead Redemption 1 was awesome because you could do that that slow-mo targeting where you could target people. So I would target shoulder, chest, and then a bunch of headshots. Boom, 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 boom. God, that was so fun. I'll try it one day, the game streaming. It seems like there's enough of a taste for it, so why not? I grew up playing video games. Yeah, I would do it on Twitch. We'll get a new Twitch channel. Nick has the other one, but nobody really watches it. But I'll take care of it myself. We're still playing around with our Discord server too, because in light of the whole Dishonored Wolf thing, we have to take a different approach to that. So I'm talking to the other guys for safety and security reasons. You're supposed to bring her dino bones. Ooh. Deadeye targeting's back in the game. Cool. There we go. You sold me again. I love you, Rockstar. Oh, so let's talk about. Well, I kind of. Okay, do we really? Okay, press 1 if you want me to mention this John Campea thing. It's a little too political, I guess, for this thing. But John Campea, the guy who tried to wreck Star Wars, has been a little too testy and spicy on the internet. So I'm not really going to get into that. But if you guys want to check it out, this is why there are a lot of problems with media, the way it's reported, because these people are just overtly political, and they have to look at it through that lens because it's cool right now. Jeff, if you play on Twitch, will we ever get a show like all those Twitch ladies? Well, what is a Twitch lady? Is that like where the hot girls play video games? I mean, I have female lady friends that I could get to play some video games. That'd be I don't know. I don't know if they're very good at them, but we can try. We can try. So basically, John Campea is going all off on the president. And I'm just like, dude, this is not the time to do this. Because, Campea just came off of a really destructive year with his whole Star Wars breakdown. And this is all I'll get into it. His Star Wars breakdown really exposed his bias. I mean, I don't really care about anybody's political stance. If you're going to talk about a movie, judge it on its own merits. Don't try to read into or liken it to this because you think it makes you sound smarter than you actually are. That is why when you lump people in with groups, hate groups, and all this stuff, you're the problem. And it's like, oh, they're a hate group and this and that. But you're falsely labeling people as a hate group. You're full of shit. And people will always have a problem being attacked and called out. Whoa. Is this real? Okay, this is news. This is Star Wars news. This might piss you off. Sorry, somebody just tagged us on this on Twitter. I don't know if this is new or not, or if this is real. So if this is fake, let me know. But if this is legit, be prepared to maybe be outraged. I don't know. So this was just on Twitter. Fun fact, in canon, Tarkin is confirmed to be gay after lusting after a young Imperial on the Death Star and later getting it on with him. I'm not even memeing. It's from the canon novel from a certain point of view. LOL. Is this real? Is this fucking real? Because if this is pointless. Will Huff Tarkin is now gay. Okay, like, here's the thing. They want us to get all outraged and upset and angry. Oh, you're making the characters gay. I just don't know why you'd pick Grand Moff Tarkin. He's kind of a dick. Wouldn't you want a better, more positive gay representation of a character? Oh, it's fake. Okay, cool. I didn't think Tarkin was gay, but people... why is my Google trying to listen to my voice? I don't like that. That's dumb. Why wouldn't you go for somebody like, I don't know, new? Oh, because the new characters suck. We're getting a non-fake to fake ratio of almost 1-to-1. Nice trial, Ouchie. It's real. I listened to the audiobook. It's real. All right. So I guess it's real. What an odd choice, though. It's not like an angry what the hell. It's more like a huh. Whatever. I digress. You guys, you can make them all gay characters. You're not gonna rattle my Cage. She's not going to read your fucking books. Let's be honest, I never was. I don't care. You could make Jaws from, well, no, he has a girlfriend. I'll say Jaws from James Bond gay. So I guess we could talk about Kevin Feige for a moment and Captain Marvel, because this, like I mentioned earlier, this is the future of where we're going to go with all of this superhero entertainment. We're on a high, now we're ready for the low. So Captain Marvel will feature a very different type of origin story, according to Kevin Feige. He shed some light on what comic book fans should expect from Captain Marvel, and it definitely doesn't sound as if we're getting a typical superhero origin story. It's been clear since the teaser trailer for Captain Marvel that it won't feature a traditional origin story, as it appears we'll be learning about Carol Danvers' past right alongside her. Now, during an interview at the British Academy Britannia Awards, Marvel Studios president Kevin Feige quickly reiterated that, confirming that fans should expect the unexpected. It takes place in the 1990s, and while it's an origin story of our hero, it's a very different type of origin story that we're excited to unveil to audiences, he teased, adding to the Anna Boden and Ryan Fleck-directed movie has come together extremely well. Larson does a tremendous job here, right? Jackson's a very different version of Nick Fury, does an amazing job. The entire cast, this one is very different, very exciting. Feige concluded, considering that the fact Captain Marvel takes place in the past, common sense says that we can expect it to tie into the Marvel Cinematic Universe in some unexpected ways, hence why Fury's along for the ride. Are you excited for Captain Marvel? No. So yay, we get an asymmetrical story where we learn as she learns about her past. Did Chuck Wendig, Pablo Hidalgo write the Grand Moff Tarkin stuff? Well, we can no longer call him Grand Moff Tarkin. You know what's funny too is any joke people would make about Captain Marvel, people will get all up into a huff and say it's offensive. It's like, it's a joke, guys. It's a joke. That's all I can say. It's a joke. Can we stop freaking out? People are saying, I can't wait to watch this movie at Redbox. You know, there's going to be a huge premiere that day when you can rent Captain Marvel for $1. A whole buck. You know, John Monaco, I'm worried about the 90s nostalgia. I'm actually working on a series because I found a really good article. I'm not just going to do, I'm going to stick with entertainment, but there's a couple articles, a couple videos I'm working on that aren't strictly geek culture stuff, which you guys should definitely check out, though, because it all ties into entertainment as a whole, which you'll find interesting. But I'm betting, much like Guardians of the Galaxy, that Captain Marvel will have a couple 90s songs that they will not pump out, but they'll like promote, and everyone will act like, well, this song's so great. I remember when everyone was like, Hooked on a Feeling is the greatest song ever. I'm like, it never was the greatest song. Just because Star-Lord walked around to it doesn't make it that great. So whatever 90s song we're going to get, it could be Zombie by the Cranberries, but that lady just died, so maybe they won't want to use it. But I do like that song. I think it's kind of funny, actually. I'm going to guess, let's see, since the movie will probably take place in 95, so we can't have Smash Mouth, thankfully. I don't know what we're going to have in terms of that. Titan Star believes the DC Universe is better than Avengers Infinity War. That's all I can go. I can't even muster up. That's a look at Titan Star. I've tried to watch your show. Tried is the operative word in that sentence. Did not succeed. I tried. It is the most try-hard, cheaply produced, boring show I've watched all year. Iron Fist is of higher quality in every regard. Colleen Wing is a cool character. Raven? No. Starfire? No. Robin? No. He's no longer Dick Grayson. He's Rick Grayson. It's so sad and funny. Everything we know and love in entertainment, nothing is safe. Everything is being bastardized and changed and ruined. Not for the greater good, but for some reason not to sound offensive. Oh, Dick is too offensive a name. Well, I'll tell it to Dick Cheney, Dick Nixon, Dick Guy Roberts' child star, Dick Kavanaugh, Dick Van Dyke, Dick York, Dick Sergeant York. You know, Where have all the cowboys gone? Ew, if that song is in Captain Marvel, I might puke. I hate that song. If I too will, if they play Danger Zone for her, I will puke as well. I'm going to take an empty popcorn bucket. I think I'm going to ask somebody, folks, if you have a Star Wars Episode 7 popcorn bucket that you would like to spare, I'd like to take it as my vomit bucket for Captain Marvel. And every time something stupid and cringy comes on the screen, just like Mr. Creosote, just open it up and right in there. I'm really dreading that. I'm really dreading that. Dick Gregory, Dick Cavett. I'm Just a Girl by No Doubt. I can see that song being in there. I wish they'd play the song Don't Speak, and Captain Marvel wouldn't. Brandon Moist, thank you very much. I bet the name Moist offends them. Well, you're probably right, Brandon Moist, and make sure you're as offensive as possible. My name is Brandon Moist, and then go like this. Because that bothers people, that sound, moist. I would love that. That would make me laugh so hard. I know a couple people that the word moist wants to, my friend's ex-wife, the word moist makes her want to puke. So if I ever see her again, I'm like, oh yeah, my friend Brandon Moist. Could you not say that name? It's his last name. Well, could you call him Brandon? No, because I know a couple Brandons. I need to distinguish which Brandon we're talking about. Is it Brandon Josworth, Brandon Bolton, Brandon Brandonson? No, it's Brandon Moist. And you need to hear me talk about Brandon Moist. Dick Larson. Captain Moisture. Sergeant Moist. Can never be enough moist. Oh yeah, her face is so unpleasant. I apologize. There you go. Look at us. There we are. There's the world-class bullshitters. Going from left to right, it's me, Dion, Nick, and Kendo. So there you are. That's what we look like. Highway to the Moisture Zone. I could get into that. Dick Jones owns OCP. I used to hate RoboCop until I watched it last weekend, and I have new respect for it. But I still, man, I wanted to get into Buckaroo Banzai so bad. I watched that movie because you guys recommended it. I just was like, I made it through and I didn't hate it, but I just didn't love it. Maybe it needed another movie. Sorian Sky, thank you for your super chat. My Heart Will Go On will be the credits theme. I would laugh my ass off. Now, Deadpool did it right where they hired Celine Dion to make that song, that Beauty from Ashes song. That was funny. Captain Marvel and Black Panther cannot be funny movies because they think that comedy defeats their agenda. You know, to them, a good, strong character is stern and boring, and they think that makes a strong female character a strong minority character. Let's just go black movie cops. Axel Foley, Roger Murtaugh, anything Chris Tucker's played. They're all funny, but they're all competent and serious. The best characters have a little bit of humor to them, as well as some seriousness. Being one-note joke character, or one-note characters just doesn't do it. Hell, Dirty Harry's funny. You know, he said, I'm going to kick your ass so hard, you're going to have to undo your tie to, wipe your ass or something. I just laughed my ass off so hard when he said stupid shit like that. Captain Larson. We'll call her Captain Larson from now on. Captain Larson is just going to stare and frown into the camera and, not emote. And people are going to say, that's empowering because she doesn't give a shit what the man says. And yes, I said the man. This is the 70s. Just like that song by Paul McCartney and Wings. May the moist be with you, Moist Fett. I have not watched the Death Note Netflix show. Probably won't, but I'm thinking about watching Netflix Castlevania Season 2 soon because Season 1 was incredible. Let's see. Would I cry if EA ruined the Fallout franchise? I don't really play Fallout, so I would be mad for people that like it, but I wouldn't. I mean, I'm not buying it anyway. So my friend Veronica, I'd be concerned because that's her favorite thing. Don't forget Gregory Hines. He played a cop once with Billy Crystal. That was a good movie. I liked it. Dirty Harry's rant about feminism was way ahead of its time. They could never make another Dirty Harry film, and they never should. Let it die. Well, Clint Eastwood's still alive, thankfully. Clint Eastwood's the man. He's so cool. Okay, question. You put Clint Eastwood and Harrison Ford in their prime in the same room. Who's cooler? Who comes out on top? I don't know. That's a tough question. Oh, throw in a Sean Connery in his prime? Jesus Christ. I don't even know. I don't even know, man. I don't even know. Blackaroo Banzai. That sounds like a porno. Oh, you've never heard of Dirty Harry? Oh, it's a great movie series. Go watch it, man. It's awesome. Let's see. Harrison Ford didn't talk chairs. Eastwood. Okay, so it looks like Clint Eastwood is winning a lot of these. Oh man, I'm at me and Mrs. Smith and Wesson. I need to buy those movies on Blu-ray. It's funny, the older I get, the smaller the movie I like, meaning like the Deadpool only took place over a couple of days in a small area. Like, you watch Infinity War and Star Wars and all these grand sprawling epics, and they're cool. When you're a kid, they really blow your mind. But the older I get, the more I like stuff that's just like story focused over a short period of time. So, yeah, Gran Torino was a great movie. It was actually filmed when I was going to college right down the street from me. So I got that in, if that's important to you folks. Probably is not. That's okay. So normally on Mondays, too, we start with the box office, but we're not going to do the box office today. Just to let you know, Halloween is number one again. And, yeah, nobody saw it coming. So now, over the weekend, a lot of people were doing, Halloween costumes and stuff. And that was fun. We had a couple people show on the Facebook page, a couple costumes. So in the next few days, I'll try to get my Axel Foley costume together and post. I'll wait for Dion to get his, and then when we get together, we'll both be Axel Foley. It'll be regular color Axel Foley and Axel Foley with milk. That's a drink. I have an Axel Foley with a double shot of milk. Thank you, Alpha Martitillis. Thank you very much. Oh my god, an all-day Clint Eastwood stream. It's funny, the more I try to keep politics off of this channel, the more I'll find entertainment that really kind of sticks a fucking pin in the side of entertainment, or the politics of today. Shit you couldn't make. It's funny too, in the Deadpool, one of the guys that works at the police station is like, ooh, a Chinese American sidekick or Chinese American cop would look good for a PR standpoint. And Clint Eastwood was just like, whatever. And even the Chinese American guy is just like, whatever. Cool characters transcend their color. Let's see. I'm just reading about the Halloween costumes. That's not too big in your area. Halloween, when I went to this party, there was a guy, like I said, dressed as an NPC. He's my friend. His girlfriend was a vampire. She's cool. I didn't go in a costume. I just went dressed as myself. But a couple people tried to go as zombies. So they were in like normal clothes, and their face paint was just kind of like sweating off because it was hot. And it just looked like a bunch of really dirty, like people fell into an Oreo cookie because it was like part dark and part white, just, right all over their eyes and shit. It was really weird looking. And there was a chick that was dressed as I don't know what she was dressed as, but she was drunk as hell. It sucks that Halloween is in the middle of the week. Yeah, it does. But people celebrated last weekend, and people are going to celebrate this coming weekend around here. So you get double the Halloween celebration if you look at it from that point of view. And it gives you guys an excuse to, if you're working and lurking this coming week, make sure you guys listen to the Halloween movie streams, because I know you're thinking, I'm not going to listen. I don't really like horror movies. Well, don't worry. I'm putting it out there like this. Once the Halloween stream ends, our horror content goes away for a year. But Schlocktoberfest was so successful this year that we will do it next October again. So thank you to everyone, because it's not too early to say thank you. We're always thankful. But like I was telling the guys on the show, if you haven't had a chance, in November, we're going to do Indiana Jones. We're going to do some Star Trek films. People are really excited about Godzilla movies. So we'll get back to the genre and geek culture stuff that everybody wants us to talk about and get invested in, as well as always covering the new topics and news and entertainment and stuff like that. But thank you to everyone who stuck with us through October, because, we were a little stagnant at the beginning of the month. And over the last 4 days, it's really jumped up. So, but we will be going back to all the stuff you guys love and are excited about. Oh, somebody's been dressing up as Kolchak. Good choice. I'm in a Facebook group about that show. People are obsessed with it. Oh, Super Smash Brothers candidates, I hope you're all right, my friend. We got to fight for our right to be soy-free. I kind of want to put that on a t-shirt. Would anybody buy that? Press 1. when we launch the website next month, we could have that. I'm still working out a few kinks. The website building is easy. It's the production part of all this stuff is the hard part. Got to remember, one thing that's cool and exciting is when you look at somebody like Ethan, Jeremy, myself, we're essentially becoming our own business. So we have to take care of things you guys wouldn't think of. But unlike a normal business, there's not a hierarchy. There's just one person, and you can speak to us. At Christmas, will I do marathon Christmas movies? Yeah, we can do some of that stuff. If this Halloween stream is successful, we'll do other long streams. Now, remember, folks, we are moving Good Morning Pop Culture to its own channel. So the link is in the description below. If you click over there and you could subscribe to that channel, that'd be excellent. I'll do a couple test streams over there soon to make sure I got monetization and all that stuff turned on as well. But like I said, I don't want this show to go anywhere. It'll be, if you're a fan of this show, it'll be the same thing as it always is. I'm actually going to try to make it a little better. I'm looking into Streamlabs and doing a couple things, kind of like how the Kill Stream has a different screen up and all that crap, to give you more of an experience. I'm trying to get all that stuff worked out. And like I said, we'll do more videos here. True Lies would never come out today. Oh my God, True Lies. It's a fun movie. I don't know how Veronica became a fan of Fallout, but she loves it. She buys these stupid pop vinyls of what, Pit Boy or Vault Boy or whatever his name is. All this shit. She's like, look what I got. I'm like, okay. She lives in Wisconsin. I live in Ohio, so it's not like we hang out frequently. Next time I'll ask her. She's on one of the commentaries. If you listen to our I Know What You Did Last Summer commentary, yeah, I think that's it. She's in the very beginning of it, and she's like, I gotta go, bye. So that was kind of weird. Let's see, Pork Box. Let's see. Well, I know I can get the super chat turned on, and I'll do a couple streams over there to get some viewed hours. So if you guys want to help us out, let's see. OG She-Ra and He-Man on Netflix. Some of it holds up. The new She-Ra on Netflix. I wasn't going to watch any of the She-Ra on Netflix. She-Ra on Netflix. The old one, I had a friend whose name is She-Ra. Loved that show, but the new stuff it's weird. I could understand if it was like the generation that was into this stuff got old and it's like we're the problem. But it's like all the shit that everybody liked got worse by choice all at one time. It's not like okay, for example, there's the original Ninja Turtles and there's the one that came out in 2003, TMNT. That's whatever, we'll just call it that one. People seem to really like that show, kids and adults, and it really caught on. But then they went for the cheaper CGI animation, and that was popular too. And now they're in an even shittier version. It's like soon the Ninja Turtles will be dots and circles, and that's about it. But the Ninja Turtles has always been about the fun stuff. Yeah, they've gone a little too soy-induced with Black April O'Neil and stuff like that. But with She-Ra and all this other stuff too, it's like it's adversarial. You're trying to bring out stuff for a generation that doesn't know it. It's like, why at that point, why milk a franchise that doesn't even exist anymore? That'd be like if they brought in, well, they did bring back Inspector Gadget. I wasn't a fan because of the new cartoon theme song and stuff like that. But I'm trying to think of a cartoon. What's the show? My point is, if you try to bring back something old and change it into something else, why not just make something new? Oh, because you want to hide behind the name. Let's see. You want a Halloween soundtrack review? I'll give you one right now. It was great. The what is it? The Shape Returns is the best track on there. I was pumped. Overall, it's a good one. If you have Google Play Music, you can listen to it. That's how I listen to it. It's not better than much like the film, it's not better than the original or Halloween 2 soundtrack, but it does have some good moments. Dare I say some great moments. And, maybe I'm softening up my stance on Halloween. I don't know. I need to go watch it again before I, make that final decision if I think it's better than I realize. But overall, I'm still disappointed by the movie. How about Strawberry Shortcake? Don't know if it still exists. My mom dated a guy that worked at Kenner when Strawberry Shortcake was new, so she used to give all that stuff to my cousin for free. That was like 35 years ago. Jesus. Let's see. Pete Rose is my favorite Ohioan. I better be number 2, Kenny Powers. Well, you could like there are other ones. Steven Spielberg's from Cincinnati, so it's okay. If I gotta come in second place to Pete Rose and or Steven Spielberg, so that'd make me 3, I can live with that. That's not my pride fucking with me. Very messy. Rainbow Brute. Yeah, that's Ethan's next thing. I don't know when the other Comicsgate projects will be delivered, but you can damn sure be looking out for Stealing Solo in February. Like I said, when I told you guys you'd get it, you'll get it. Well, Super Smash Brothers candidates, make sure you find out, get to the bottom of all your stuff. I don't like I'm not going to read your message because I don't want to put it on Front Street for everybody, but I'm reading it. Give them a chance before, the friendship ends. Look at my friend, like Dustin. This was years ago. He kind of shit the bed on something and kind of ruined our friendship, but our other buddy's like, you guys will get over it and you'll be back. He said, the band will get back together. Those were the words he used. This was back in 2010. No, 2009. Early 2009. And, a couple of weeks went by and we worked things out and we were fucking friends until we're still friends, but not like we used to be because we don't talk much anymore. But you never know. I wouldn't end your friendship based on one bad experience. Sometimes people are unreliable. Maybe there's a reason to it. But at the end of the day, you have to make up your own mind and your own decisions. So hear them out. Maybe it was a mistake. Maybe there's more than I know to the story. But maybe you should just don't take it too hard. Sometimes, I'm not trying to trivialize your situation, but sometimes shit happens, man. And you just gotta look at it from somebody else's point of view. And after you have, and you've assessed it, if it still doesn't smell right, well, then you got to do what your heart tells you to do. So that is the best piece of advice I can give you. Let's see. Jacob, don't do that. Remember, you're only 16 now. Once you're 18, you can go out and do your own thing. Shit happens. Don't be soy. Oh, super fan Adam Shaw. I am. I'm glad you guys are all here. Like I said, Good Morning Pop Culture is so much fun. And I do like my moments of advice. They're fun. I think it's because it all boils down to I give a shit. So, don't ever hesitate to say, hey, this is going on, man. What should, do you have any advice? Sometimes I do. I know people pretty well. I'm pretty good with people. That's all I can say. Let's see. I can't survive without revenge, says Nero. Oh, maybe not. Everything's better than Rob Zombie films. Oh my god, I can't believe that. So I talked about Halloween for a bit, and now in these Facebook groups, people keep going on and on and on about Rob Zombie Halloween. Oh, that's better than I remember. No, it's really not. That's really not. So real quick, let me talk about Daredevil Season 3 for a moment. Now, I'm going to be working with Razor Fist. We're going to find out a time when it works out. When it's convenient for the both of us. Because I'll make sure that it works. He's one of my favorite YouTubers, and he's a comic book fan. He loves Daredevil. So if I'm going to have a discussion about the character with somebody, it's going to be him. So let me pull up a quick picture of Daredevil, and we'll start talking about Season 3 for just a moment. Because, like I've said on previous episodes multiple times, Marvel is the modern day, the modern myth. It's been like that for quite a while. You had these stories come out in the 60s. Sometimes they were slight retellings of the classics. Sometimes they were allegories for political issues, but they were always done very well. Nowadays, stuff is too heavy-handed. Stuff is too... it's just not as well done. That's all I can say. And thankfully, when you have certain things kind of pop up in terms of heavy-handed politicalness, they, sometimes they work, sometimes they don't. Now, Daredevil, people were saying how it was a Trump allegory, this, that, and the other. There were a few moments when the Kingpin spoke that were very reminiscent of the president. But other than that, it was a good, entertaining show. It was a very good, entertaining show. And I can't suggest it enough. Like I told you guys, I cheered. And this is it's not really a spoiler because you know it's coming, but when he beats up the Kingpin and he talks about the city beat, he goes, "I beat you," and I was just like, yes, because the show builds. Okay, so Wilson Fisk is the greatest villain in all of Marvel, better than Loki, better than Thanos. I'm saying it because the Kingpin's realistic and believable. I love Thanos. He was like this modern Darth Vader. He was cool. He was powerful. He had a really great philosophy. But Wilson Fisk, there were people like Wilson Fisk throughout history, and just go and watch the show. D'Onofrio, my God, that guy can act with a wall, and you're going to be moved. In the beginning, you learn about Bullseye, his upbringing, his origin. You watch the Kingpin manipulate him. It was just an incredible, incredible show, and I didn't want it to end. Like I said at the beginning of this podcast, when I find something really awesome, I'm very happy and thankful because we live in an era where technology is cheaper than it's ever been. You can get yourself a decent computer, internet's affordable, and with that, you can, surf the web and find anything you want, all kinds of stuff. And with a Netflix subscription and a few other things, you really have access to just all kinds of entertaining stuff. A lot of it's garbage, but, the good stuff, the cream always rises to the top, like Macho Man says. And this show is no different. All of the characters have agency. Foggy is a great character. I know a lot of people shit on him in the first season. I liked him. I've always liked Foggy Nelson in terms of the show. In the comic, not so much. He's kind of a joke. But in the show, he's really good. Karen Page, they really make her important without pushing... put it like this. Jessica Jones is a very feminist, pro-feminist show. Now, we've said this on this channel numerous times. We're all about equality here. But Jessica Jones goes out of the way to make it gross feminism, and the characters are very much weak compared to her. Now, I get it. She's got these superpowers, but they just make the characters' motivations and their that acting's not a problem, but the characters' motivations are just weaker. They're thinner characters, if you know what I'm saying. And they're just using it to push certain ideals. Karen Page is a very competent, well-written female character who has a history, a background, problems, all kinds of things, but she's entertaining. You learn about her past, her drug use, the death of her brother, all these things. One of the best moments I found was when she called home, and she needed to go home because she was running from the Kingpin. And, her dad's like, "No, you can't come home, but you can call whenever you want," type of thing. And you can just see her deflated because when she needed her family the most, they backed out on her. And that was a cool moment. Foggy, you learn about his family and how they own this meat company, or this deli, and how they accidentally took a loan from the Kingpin and they were involved with all this dirty shit. And if Foggy runs for district attorney, it's going to cause problems for the family. There's a lot of levels going on. And then you got Daredevil, who has this nun, and I won't spoil anything with the nun, but if you've read the comics, you know about who she is. He's back living at a church. He's learning about his faith and all this stuff. And then you got Fisk, who's manipulating the FBI, and you got Bullseye. There's just so many characters that have so many interesting motivations. I really can't recommend this show enough. If you're a Marvel fan, I know you'll love it. If you just like crime drama, you're gonna love it too. It's violent, it's bloody, it's action-packed. There's a part where somebody fails the Kingpin. He goes, "Give me your jacket." The guy gives him his jacket. He wraps it around the dude's head and he punches the guy's face till it turns to mush, and the jacket just soaks with blood. It was awesome. So I want to know what you guys thought about Daredevil. If you're waiting because you thought it was going to have a little bit too much soy in the water, trust me, it does not. Believe me, I look for these things. Well, let me rephrase it. I don't look for them. I'm very, I notice these things very easily. Jessica Jones has it. Luke Cage. Iron Fist had less in season 2 than you'd think. They definitely tried to make Danny Rand a stronger character. Colleen Wing's always been a strong character, but it wasn't at the disservice of Danny. And that's what I really liked their relationship. If you want to truly, if you're trying to push something in these shows, well, Iron Fist did it the best in terms of, a female superhero trying to go one-on-one with the guy superhero. Karen can't fight Daredevil. Karen can't fight anybody. She could shoot, she can do this and that, but she's not a trained assassin. And that's good because they tried to pull that shit with Jessica Jones and Patsy Walker and all these other dumb characters. And I wish that show would go away. It's not very good. It'll get praised and it'll continue because it says the right things during the right political climate. But when you look back on these shows for what they truly need to be, these great stories, well, Jessica Jones is hollow. You may want to shit on Tobey Maguire's Spider-Man because, oh, he's got organic web shooters or this or that. But the stories stand up. They're still good human stories that we can all relate to. We want to be a part of something, but we're outcasts. We want to be somewhere, but we can't afford to be there. All those things really hit. And Daredevil works on that too. Parental issues, relationship issues, all kinds of stuff like that. Like I said, I can't praise it enough. Please do yourself a favor and go watch it, and then let me know what you think. I was a fan. I was excited, and I suggest you guys go out to your local used bookstore and pick up some old Daredevil comics. Get the stuff from Frank Miller. That's going to be the stuff that you're going to be watching on the TV screen. Go back and read that when Elektra was involved. All that old stuff. The Frank Miller era Daredevil is the best. Not this new Mark Waid, Mark Zaid bullshit. Go read the classic stuff and come back and tell me what you think. American Trent 007, taking a whip to a Halloween party was a good idea. Oh, Trent, I'm sure you had fun with that, man. I'll tell you more about my Halloween party off air on Wednesday morning when you get up for the Good Morning Pop Culture. Secret Rebel enjoys it. Daredevil Season 3, I'm glad you do. I know some people are on the fence, but I love it. I'm loving it. The guy playing Bullseye was almost Captain America. I did not know that. The guy playing Bullseye would have been a good Captain America. He kind of has that generic face for it, but he was good. I liked that guy quite a bit. I'm looking forward to Castlevania Season 2. People keep saying that Thanos had a great motivation was basically because he really, depending on how you look at it, Thanos really wasn't a bad guy. He wanted the world or the universe to not suffer. No more famine, no more hunger, no more pain, no more overpopulation, stuff like that. That was what Thanos' motivation was, to make the world. Listen to the one line he says about, have you been back to your homeworld to Gamora? And he's like, it's like a utopia where generations don't know hunger and war and all this stuff. So I think that's what he was going for. And I thought that was interesting because Loki wants to control the world Malekith is a stupid villain. Ultron was a stupid villain. But at least Thanos had something going on. And I think that's why people were so impressed. And I'm looking forward to more Thanos. Part of me just wants to, open up my arms and say, hey, Marvel, come on, bring in the real thing. But then we got Captain Marvel. We're not allowed to have fun. So Karen is pretty damn hot. You should ask Ivan Ortega about Karen from Daredevil. So people liked the Karen backstory. I liked Karen Page. I thought she was a good, what's her name? Deborah Ann Woll or something like that. She's a good actress. Very good. It's funny. Everybody from the movie Daredevil, they're fine. But everybody from the show is that much better. Jon Favreau played Foggy Nelson in the movie. Yeah, but the guy from the Mighty Ducks is just so much better. Charlie Cox beats the shit out of Ben Affleck. Michael Clark Duncan was a good Kingpin. Vincent D'Onofrio, the greatest Kingpin. My God. Oh, man. I'm just like, you should see me right now. I'm all smiley thinking about it. The final battle is incredible. I loved it so much. And it wasn't this big epic thing. It was in a hotel room. And it was oh my God. Just go watch it. Just go watch it. That's all I can keep saying to you guys. I liked the Kingpin / Wilson Fisk in Spider-Man the Animated Series. His voice was great in that show. Yeah, I liked it too. I think it was a black dude, Roscoe something, that did the voice of it. He has passed away. But that is the best Kingpin voice. If only we get that voice with D'Onofrio's performance. Oh my God. The Kingpin's awesome. John Romita created him with Stan Lee. And the Kingpin has always pretty much looked the same. He's one of those characters. Yeah, he's evolved a little bit in this fashion sense. But overall, the Kingpin's been a consistent or a constant character in the Marvel Universe. He started out, he is a Spider-Man villain by origin, but then he really got involved with other stuff. And I like him best with Daredevil. Go read, I think it's Born Again, where basically Kingpin figures out, Karen Page is a drug addict, and she gives Matt Murdock's secret identity up, and Kingpin ruins his life. It is a fantastic story. Oh my God, it's a fantastic story. David M says, you're making me want to watch season 3 again. I only watched it yesterday. Yeah, I want to watch it again too, man. I really, really dig Daredevil. I mean, He is. It's funny. My mom didn't realize this because I was talking about it. She's like, I didn't know you like Daredevil so much. I'm like, it's my second favorite Marvel character. It's been for over a decade, probably closer to 15 years. I mean, in the early 2000s, when I was just getting in, well, not just getting into it. I was into the shows when they were new, like X-Men, Spider-Man, all that stuff. But in the early 2000s, when I was getting into the art and all those aspects, those elements of these things, Daredevil's the one I found that I liked just slightly less than Spider-Man. I think I like the street level characters. I'm not really fond of the cosmic stuff. I don't care about the Infinity Gauntlet or the stones or the Infinity Gems in the book. I like the characters, but it was always Daredevil, Spider-Man, the Punisher, Captain America. I liked the suit. I love the artwork from John Buscema. I like the old Avengers stuff. But the big characters were always my, Spider-Man and Daredevil. And the fact that Daredevil's been pretty, I mean, yeah, the movie sucked, but overall, he's been treated fairly well over the years. And he had a great appearance in the Spider-Man video game. He almost had his own video game in the early 2000s. And there's a lot of comics. I know the Mark Waid stuff is not Razor Fist's cup of tea, but I love the artwork by Chris Samney. That's some of my favorite modern Marvel artwork of that era. It was great. Let's see. So you like down-to-earth heroes. Yeah, they're called street-level heroes in the Marvel universe. That's what they're called. But I don't really care for Luke Cage or Iron Fist or Moon Knight, though. The thing is I like about Daredevil, too, is I always wanted to be a lawyer. Like, that was the profession I always wanted to be. And so I think I like the law element. Plus, the whole Catholic guilt thing I get because we were raised like that, so I understand it. It's more, it doesn't really hit home to me because I figured out, who I am by myself. But it's interesting to see a modern character deal with religion and not just shit on it like so many Californians want to. Maybe you don't believe the same thing that he believes or I believe, or we don't believe what you believe. That's fine. I think that's the beauty of 2018 is that a good chunk of people don't have to believe the same thing, but they can respect other people's beliefs. And I think Daredevil does a good job of respecting the character's beliefs without trivializing the religious aspect because he's so intrinsically linked to being a Catholic. The Catholic guilt and Daredevil are one in one, much like Ben Grimm and his Judaism and being, is a cipher the right word for Jack Kirby. There's just those are big parts of the character, and thankfully Netflix has the balls to do that because Marvel, the movie studio proper, I don't think would have the nerve. They don't want to offend a certain audience, but I think Middle America would probably buy into it, and there's more buying power there than people realize. But I think you have a lot of critics that attack it because it pushes something that they don't believe in. Let's see. D'Onofrio's Wilson Fisk, Kingpin. All the actors were great. The nun Maggie was hot. I kind of thought that too. She was a MILF, but I didn't want to lead with that. I thought that would have been kind of, oh yeah, that nun was hot. No, those aren't things you normally think out loud. Daredevil appearance in the Incredible Hulk. Oh, back in the Lou Ferrigno days when he was dressed in all black. Was it the trial of the Incredible Hulk? Doctor Doom is a great character. Let's see. Moon Knight's not bad, actually. I don't dislike Moon Knight. I'm not a fan. Like Hawk and Dove from DC, those are characters that I think could be okay because they're interesting. They're a moral dynamic from Steve Ditko, but I'm not a fan. Let's see. The guilt is something to experience. It's hard to imagine me as a lawyer. No, it's not. I was a really good student. Believe me. I could have been a hell of a lawyer. Let's see. Marvel doesn't have the balls to do Islamic jobs as the villains. They used to. In the early 2000s, they had some of those stories. I don't think you necessarily... You could do that with Captain America if you had to. But let's be honest, with the MCU, does that fit right now? Captain America, even in his own movies, deals with sometimes bigger threats than just a national government or a religious sect. I think as somebody who likes the creative freedoms that, maybe that story would tell, I just don't think it would fit. I don't think, maybe in a comic, they can deal with Hydra and use them as a proxy for the Nazi party that no longer exists. Just do it tactfully in the comic books. Maybe the comic books should push the envelope and not worry about offending. And they should let the movies be great if they're if they can be. Let's see. The nun who plays the nun is the same as Sorsha and Willow. I haven't seen Willow in a long time. We had a cereal bowl of Willow, so there we go. Let's see, Fallout or Disney Star Wars, and why? Oh, I don't know Fallout. I'll play the game and probably enjoy it, but I don't like Disney Star Wars. I just pick Fallout because the possibilities are endless since it's all new to me. Remember, you may be a Fallout expert, and Fallout 3 may be old and dated, but since I've never played it, I may be blown away. So I'll pick Fallout so I can at least have some fun. Let's see. What comic names in Daredevil do you suggest we read? Well, Born Again is good. Hold on, let me just show you the book real quick because sometimes I endorse things. Sometimes I tell you, oh, you should go out and buy this. When it comes to this, I think you should go out and buy these Daredevil comics. Let's see. Daredevil, Frank Miller. There's a specific book. Just read the Frank Miller stuff. I'm going to show you. Oh man, oh my god, look at this. We used to do bad comic book art. Let's look at something beautiful. And this is awesome. And this is stuff. Maybe I could incorporate this into my stuff down the road when I do more atmospheric. I would love to incorporate this, but look at this while I pull up the book. That is incredible artwork. I'm going to gush over that for a few minutes. But yeah, my number one suggestion would be Daredevil, the Frank Miller book. It's where do you get it at? It's just called Daredevil by Frank Miller and Klaus Janson. And then Born Again, Daredevil, Man Without Fear. There's just all kinds of great Daredevil stories. Oh, there's a Daredevil Frank Miller omnibus. Let's see. $75. Well, you can get paperback editions. But you guys, if you want to, here's the story I suggest the most right here, Daredevil Born Again. And you can get it on Kindle for $6, which is what I did when the first season of Daredevil came out. I picked it up. I was like, this show sounds great. But there you are. That is my suggestion right there. Tales from the Hood 2 or The Last Jedi? Last Jedi. Yeah, I said it. I just don't fucking like. I hated that movie. That was the type of shit that'll tear society apart. And I'm not trying to sound like a prude. I'm just being honest. That type of shit really is in bad taste, especially now. Like we're not a bunch of hippies on this channel, but I say, yeah, respect your fellow fan and this and that. Find some common ground. Not with that fucking shit. That is like tearing apart, people. Let's see. Frank and the Shawhan Wiener Dog Clad, thank you very much for your super chat. Happy 24th birthday, Lethal Lightning, our mate and world class bullshitters fan. Lethal Lightning, happy birthday to you, my friend. I hope you have a good day. Let's see, 24 years old. How was that? What year is that for me? 2012, right? No, 2014. That was, I can't do math. My point is, 2012 was that birthday for me. I didn't do much. I got the Avengers on Blu-ray. So I hope you have a good 24th birthday. Better than what I had. But have a good one, man. And Frank and the Shawhan Wiener Dog Clan, high five to you guys, too. Let's see. Stealing Solo is going great. I'm excited to work on it. So you guys will have that before you know it. But you get through the holidays and boom, there it is. It's like, oh man, Christmas is over. Nothing to look forward to. Stealing Solo. And let's see. I'm trying to catch up. So people like the artwork, people like that. So you guys, yeah, check this book out. Wow. Willow Blu-ray is out of print. You have to shell $200 to pick it up used. I don't even like that movie enough to pay $20 for it. So I don't know. Maybe I'm not gonna watch Willow, let's be honest. Damn, that's awesome. Thank you. Do you think Daredevil is done on Netflix because some rumors of season 4 being canceled? Probably canceled. And I think that's really sad because the show ends like they're gonna go into business what is it? Nelson, Murdoch, and Paige. I'm like, cool. They're gonna get back together. The band's back together. And Foggy's got this hot girlfriend and this big lawyering job, and he's gonna, go do the right thing but stay with her. And their lives are on the right track. What villainous thing will happen next? Well, then we see Bullseye, and he's gonna come back as Bullseye. And I'm just like, please, more of this show. Kingpin's gonna do this, and Bullseye and Punisher and Elektra and all this other shit. There's so many possibilities. If anything, Marvel and Disney and Netflix should come to an agreement that that's the one show they keep around. It's so good. It's so good. What is the worst directed superhero film? Oh my god. Batman and Robin? Fantastic? I mean, the stereotypical cliched ones are the bad ones that are poorly directed. X-Men 3 with Brett Ratner? Ugh. Oh my god. There are some bad ones. Those are the ones I'm talking about. When am I talking with Razorfist? Well, I'm going to shoot him a message today, and I'm going to ask him when he's free, and I'll let him know when I'm free, and we'll try to make that happen. Just cut everything but Punisher and Daredevil. Yeah, keep Punisher. I keep forgetting. There was only one season of that show, and it was damn good. And there's a season 2 coming because we've seen photos of it. So there is season 2 of Punisher and season 3 of Jessica Jones. Ugh. Blank Man, it is a good show. Am I excited for the new Good Morning Pop Culture channel? Yeah, I just, like I tell you guys, honesty is my biggest policy here on the channel. A bunch of live streams are great, and I have fun doing those. And we can talk like this, but it does keep the channel from growing. So to give you guys the same experience and grow the channel, I just have to separate them. But don't worry, it'll be worth it. It'll definitely be worth it because, like I said, the show ain't changing. All you got to do is just go to that channel instead. Same experience, same guy. I'm just going to try to make it even better to sweeten the deal. And I think I might do a little bit of advertising because if they like Good Morning Pop Culture is much easier to advertise than World Class Bullshitters. Even though World Class Bullshitters is the epitome of pop culture, where we take a dump on the world of pop culture every Thursday night. Blank Man, like I said, that was a great movie. Oh God, Steel. That was a terrible movie. I forgot about it. Let's see, Punisher season 2 has finished shooting. We have a guy. I don't know if he still listens, but he worked on all of those shows, and he could never tell us anything, but he worked on those shows. I believed it too, because the jobs he had weren't like crazy. Oh, I played the Punisher. No, it wasn't like it's secretly John Bernthal. It was just somebody. I was like, cool, I believe that. And I thought that was really incredibly cool. Steven Universe cartoon. I don't like it. I've seen a couple episodes. I'm too old for it, let's be honest. There's a line that I can understand where it's like, I'm too old for something to appreciate. Like that one show, Flapjack. I thought that was pretty much geared towards me. I was 21 or 2. It felt like a modern day Ren and Stimpy. It had the weird, gross out close-up paintings and some funny stuff. That show felt like it was geared towards adults and kids. Steven Universe has just, some stuff that is adult oriented to a degree in terms of like ideological stuff. But overall, I think I'm just too old for it. So if kids are into it or people younger than me are into it, cool. Again, just because I dislike something doesn't mean it doesn't need to exist. I just don't like it. Steel makes me pine for The Last Jedi. It's that bad. I would rather watch Steel over The Last Jedi. I honestly mean this from the bottom of my heart. Tales from the Hood it broke me. Do you need to watch the other Daredevil shows to understand the Daredevil storylines? The other Netflix shows? No, if you only watch Daredevil seasons 1 through 3, you'll get everything. They explain the end of the Defenders, and they even show the clips. So if you don't watch the Defenders, you can still understand Daredevil. But I've watched everything because I like Marvel Comics. Loved them at one point. So if you have the time, watch them all. Some are better than others. All of Daredevil is really great. Jessica Jones, Season 1's good. Season 2's good. Luke Cage, Iron Fist, Defenders, Punisher, awesome. There you go. The Defenders, that was the biggest disappointment of last year for me. The Defenders. I thought we were going to get the Avengers on TV. No. Johnny Bravo is better than Steven Universe. I love Johnny Bravo. And that's a show I grew up with. Defenders was bad. Yeah. League of Extraordinary Gentlemen. Oh, I don't really like that movie. I know some people do. I'm not one of them. Why is Jessica Jones being Why isn't Jessica Jones being canceled? Because of agendas. Let's be honest. No matter how nice we try to be about all this stuff, there's an agenda in Hollywood, and they will lose money for the sake of perceived equality or some shit like that. Jessica Jones season 2 was bad. In my opinion, it was really offensively bad at certain points. And the funny thing is, the character of her, I don't dislike. It's the people in her world that I dislike. Malcolm, Malcolm's a little better than he used to be. I thought he was pretty cool in the first season. In the second one, he kind of meanders. Patsy Walker, fuck her, she needs to go. Jerry Hogarth, she kind of got her comeuppance for being a piece of shit human being for all those years. So there are some elements that I do like, but overall, that show's just preachy garbage. Why don't the Marvel shows and movies do a crossover? Because they just don't. I would love to have seen. Well, here's the thing. In Infinity War, it would have been neat to see Daredevil and all those characters, but let's be honest, where would they have fit in? The only characters in the beginning, let's look at it like this. All the Marvel Netflix characters, they fight at night, and in the day they're doing their own thing. So maybe in part 2, once the world's kind of ravaged, maybe we see Daredevil step up. Maybe we see Luke Cage step up. That's when I think you should see them. And then once the Infinity Gauntlet's fixed to the time and space and all this shit, maybe they just go back to wherever they were. Let's see. So far, I'm up to episode 9. There wasn't any mention of Cage, Fist, or Jones. If you're already on episode 9, Secret Rebel, no, there really isn't much mention of them. They mention Jessica Jones in the last episode of the show, and that's not a spoiler, because Karen Page is an investigative reporter, and Matt Murdock goes, yeah, and you're more reliable than Jessica Jones, and that is it. I think that's the only time she's ever mentioned. Daredevil knows it's shit, and it oh my god, it's cool. And the cool fight scenes are back, and there's the FBI character, Ray Nadeem. He's pretty interesting too. If you want, I love the stories where it's like a good man has done something wrong and he has to suffer type of thing. Those are interesting stories to me. Luke Cage was boring as hell. Yeah. Layden Swallow just stole my joke. Thank you, Layden Swallow. Thank you for making me feel important. So for now on, Layden Swallow 09 is now the Amy Schumer of the show. Okay, not anymore. That was mean. After I said, I was like, no. Fuck no. I don't want to call anybody Amy Schumer. Have I seen Kill La Kill or Kill LA Kill? No, I have not. Yes, Bullseye was great. I agree. Punisher is a PTSD fest. Oh, yeah, I guess. You know what? If any of our military listeners out there want to watch that before our military live stream on the 10th or the 11th of November, I'd like to hear your guys' thoughts on some of that stuff. It'd be interesting. We don't even have to talk about that publicly on air. Just talk to me off air. Just curious. I wonder what happened to Elektra. I do too. She'll come back. She always does. Let's see. More like Amy Poomer. I'm here all day. God damn it, hold those off. God damn it. Well, that's all I can say. You haven't had the motivation to watch Luke Cage season 2. You don't really need to. It's decent, but it's not great. Have I watched Jack Ryan? The SJWs hate it. Well, since they hate it, Alec, I'm going to watch it now. I like the other Jack Ryan stuff. Clear and Present Danger, Patriot Games, Some of All Fears, and Hunt for Red October. Obviously, the Harrison Ford ones are superior. I've seen those. I grew up with those. Like Patriot Games, I used to rent that movie quite a bit. But I haven't seen the show with John Krasinski. I'll give it a shot. The Death Note anime. That was good. That was good. I liked it. I liked it up until the part where the cop or whatever that the dude figured out who it was, and then I lost interest in it. Honestly, I would honestly sit through all 40 years of Meet the Press if SJWs hated it. I kind of wanted Daredevil should have Black Cat as Matt's love interest, but instead I do love Elektra. Yeah, but you got to introduce her in a Spider-Man role. It's funny, Daredevil does better Spider-Man characters than Spider-Man does. It's really shitty how we're in an era where Daredevil has all of its stuff together and Spider-Man is just picking apart kitty stupid crap. Um, I don't know. I don't get to control all that business stuff. If I did, Spider-Man would be a grown man and he would interact. That would be my crossover character for the Netflix shows as well as the movies. Spider-Man would get his films. I'd love a Spider-Man TV show, but he would also appear in Daredevil and shit, sparingly. Not always, because, if you rely on Spider-Man too much, that takes away. It's like saying, why isn't Thor in this movie to just fight the bad guy? Because it takes away from the drama. Isn't Black Cat older than Spider-Man? If you watch the Kitty cartoon, yeah, but no, she's really not. They're Let's see. When she appears in the 70s, Peter's in his 20s, so she's in her 20s too. So she would be based on this little kitty Spider-Man. Good old Felicia Stiffy, Hardy. uh, check out Jin on Netflix. You might enjoy it. All right. When I will sit down and watch some stuff on Netflix. Yeah, Teen Spidey, yeah, Armandi, I get what you're saying. But adult Spider-Man does have more nuance. We'll find out next year with Spider-Man Far From Home. More of the same bullshit. It'd be really funny is if people had turned on Marvel and that movie flops too. Like Captain Marvel and Avengers does its money, and then Spider-Man just gets dumped on. I would love for it to get dumped on because I'm so fed up with Tom Holland and all that other bullshit. Zendaya. The hell's a Zendaya? I'm not even going to get into that. I'm going to close this show out. So, folks, yeah, they did ruin Betty Brant. Betty Brant was supposed to work for the Daily Bugle. She's the older woman that Peter Parker lusts after. Watch the movie. And if you haven't had a chance to, or if you can't access the movie, watch The Spectacular Spider-Man, where it deals with him trying to go out on a date with her, and Aunt May says she's too old and all this other stuff. There's a lot of interesting stuff. You just got to check it out. All right, folks. Well, it is time for me to close out Good Morning Pop Culture, I guess, because I completely forgot. I'll be back tonight with our friend Brandon Moist. We're going to be talking about The Walking Dead. So if you want to hear shitfest about The Walking Dead, make sure you join us tonight. Brandon Moist, if you're out there, I'm going to call it at 9 o'clock. That'll be our time to go live on air. So if you're cool with that, cool. So I'll be back tonight at 9 p.m. with Brandon Moist to discuss The Walking Dead. Tomorrow, catch me here for Good Morning Pop Culture. Whoop, hold on, we got a super chat from Lou DeMarzo. Thank you very much, Lou. Hey, you think Melissa McCarthy will come out saying she doesn't know why people are so intimidated by puppets since the Happy Time Murders bomb? I love that question. Lou, when you can't... Okay, how do I want to phrase this? There isn't an agenda to hide behind with that movie. You can't really come up with excuses. It was just a dumb movie, much like the Ghostbusters thing. When you politicize Ghostbusters, you're trying to find excuses. I like your question. To me, that's something I might jokingly ask from now on. I think Melissa McCarthy and Paul Feig are both picking the wrong fight to constantly go after Ghostbusters. Ghostbusters meant so much to so many people, not even in a political thing. It just was a movie. You're talking about childhoods. It's not about your childhood. It's about a good movie. I didn't grow up with the Ghostbusters cartoon or the toys or anything like that, but I did grow up watching the movie, and it was a great comedic film. If you want to remake a movie, do it well. You don't get to hide behind intention or gender inequality or equality or whatever the hell you think you're making. These people make these movies, and they think they're on the right side of history doing all this great shit, but all they're doing is diminishing a brand, diluting a movie series, and making excuses along the way. I would much more respect all the people involved with that crappy film if they went, we misread the audience, we didn't gauge it properly, and people didn't want more Ghostbusters. That's really what it comes down to. So, folks, while you're here, make sure you guys hit the thumbs up button, pound the muff button, lick the muff button, smash the muff button, hit the melee button, whatever you're going to do, just hit the like button. Help us out here on the channel. Like I said, we've had, we're on our way back. I want to hit 100,000 by the end of the year. That sounds crazy. You don't realize anything's possible. Believe me, we started this year out small. We're ending this year even bigger than we could possibly imagine. So make sure you guys hit that button for us and make sure you have a good day. What an odd way to end it. I don't want to end it that way. So hit that muff button, and I don't know. God, it's Monday. I'm not with it yet. I'll be back tomorrow with more content here on the channel. And be on the lookout for our Boba Fett video. And when those videos hit, folks, do me another favor and share it. Even if you have one Twitter follower, do me a favor, share it too. Because once YouTube knows people are sharing the videos, well, then YouTube will start promoting them. And we can get, to the top. And hashtag make Star Wars great again. Shit, it's going to take a lot to make Star Wars great again. They, they just got to want to make it great again. That's all I can say. They got to make it want to be great again. Flick that bean button. You know what? I have nothing else to say. Flick the bean button and see you tomorrow, folks.